All right. Okay, here we are. Welcome to Digital Cortex. Your host, Thiccc now, but I don't know if I'm going to keep that. Randomstylez and Senator Ricky,
a.k.a. Baby Thanos.
There you go.
Whoa.
Our special guest today from the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast threw it back to Baby Thanos. We're going to have to hashtag that again. We're just going to hashtag Baby Thanos on everything.
That was my idea, dude.
It was your idea. I ran with it for one episode description, and then that was it.
What would that look like, too? That big old chin.
A big old Baby Thanos chin?
Well, they have like the baby, like Mickey Mouse and stuff. Right? Don't they have like the little version?
Like, Spider-Man Friends.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. The Spider-Man and Friends too. Yeah. So that's what made me think of like the small version of Thanos. You know, like hey guys, and he's like he always gets laughed at.
They actually might have it on there.
What?
On the Spider-Man Friends.
Oh, they might have Thanos on there.
Thanos on there.
He's like, come on guys, be my friend, and then like nobody likes him.
So he starts attacking people.
It's like PJ Masks, but Spider-Man version.
Yeah, he's like nice in the beginning, dude. He just wants everyone to be his friend. Yeah, but
I always start off my show with hello. So, hello everyone.
I did listen to the start and I heard the voices and I was like, is he making those voices?
What, the Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, I think
that was my man Chris. He was on he's one of our senators. He hasn't been on in a minute, but him and his buddy were doing a project where they were trying to use audio from I guess a couple audiobooks that Alec Guinness did, and they this was before the whole AI thing like popped off now. So, but yeah, they basically made him say our podcast name on there. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
And what'd you say your name was on the podcast?
Oh, I'm just Senator Ricky. We're all
senators. Oh, yeah. So just Senator before your name.
We're all senators from the podcast. So
yeah,
that's legit. So tell us about your podcast. Like, just give us a rundown.
Yeah, no, we've actually been doing. We have a Facebook group that was actually a fan group for another podcast before, but we decided to just branch off because they were doing their own thing. And Steven, who is my co-host, we call him the Chancellor because he started everything up. But yeah, so when we had the Facebook group, he's like, well, everyone's commenting and replying. Like, why don't we just like talk to each other? So he set up a thing where like, let's do a Skype call. Whoever wants to join can join. We had like 20 people. Join and people were coming in and out. So it was a lot of fun. So then they're like, well, let's just do this every month. So then we started doing that every month. Some people would come back. New people would show up. So it just became a thing that we just started doing back, I think back before when Rogue One was going to come out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was like 2016. Yeah. And they've been doing it once a month ever since. And like I dropped out for a while and then I came back and then we rebranded the Facebook group and now we... during COVID and stuff, we're like, well, we've been talking about like just release these as episodes, and we did have a couple members of the group that recorded them on and put them on YouTube, really raw stuff. But I'm like, yeah, let me just package it together. I'll put an intro, and then we can just once a month do. So we've been doing it. So once a month we usually try to do like the first weekend of the month. If something emergency happens, like some big news happens, and we'll record again. Or me and Ryan, one of my other co-hosts. We'll do our little offshoot episodes. Like we did one where we were arguing about the Batman because he loved it and I didn't. Yeah, that one's one of our popular episodes. And then we talked about board games and tabletop stuff. And we did a whole Lost episode.
What is your issue with the Batman?
It sucks. It's so slow, and Batman's an idiot in that movie.
He's vengeance.
Well, he's like, it's supposed to be his second year as Batman, right?
Yeah, this year too.
Into his second year.
Okay.
Like he hasn't really had any big.
I think they actually refer like, well, this is your second year, or you've been at this for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. He's right. He's doing a like inner monologue where he's talking about it.
Yeah, and then he had that journal that he had.
Because he's saying, I don't even know if things are working at this point, if it's getting worse or if it's getting better.
So I mean, there's just a lot of little nitpicks in that movie for me. Like
you would have done things differently.
Well, would have made him a little smarter. Alfred solved a lot of the puzzles in that movie.
That's true. Alfred did kind of like hold his hand.
I think they were just trying to make Alfred be more
younger and
like more a part of the situation than just the like. Because remember in the
beginning's awesome when he's fighting those guys and it's all dark and rainy.
Because the old 90s,
it doesn't stop raining in Gotham for some reason.
The old 90s. Yeah, it never stopped. It's
It never
Seattle.
stops raining.
Yeah,
It,
It like
Seattle.
flooded itself too.
No,
It's
but
Seattle, Gotham.
it's like you have the whole scene where Alfred's like breaking, like, no, this is in Spanish. It says El Rada, whatever,
Yeah.
And so then they figure out, oh no, it's not proper Spanish. He's saying it wrong. Like, well, he doesn't get stuff wrong. And then they track down the penguin later, go through this whole chase where things are blowing up, the semi flips over, people are dying. They catch the penguin, and then he's like, no, idiot, that's not what it says. Like, don't you know Spanish? It's like, they solved this already. And then they let him go. Like, people just died and they were going to bust up for a drug deal. They found drugs there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, let's go. Commissioner Gordon is like, let's take off. And they just left him there. Like, you gonna arrest this dude?
What about all the destruction that just happened on that freeway where you busted through the top of a semi and killed people?
There's a lot of little things that they could have did.
That's when you start going too deep, though, because you could start.
But that's the whole movie, though. It's a slow movie. It's like methodical.
I know, but like those kind of
that they're building,
those kind of things. If you start doing real world problems into movies,
and that's
then
the
you
thing
can break
people praised
anything
about
down.
the movie, that it was a grounded, real world. So
Well,
if
no,
you're gonna
but-
do that, then like do it right.
I'm saying you could
Okay,
any
your
movie.
camera went out again, but it might come back.
Yeah,
That's okay. We'll
So-
keep going.
he's a ghost.
I don't know why this it broke, but
Yeah, it's being weird, huh?
I just don't know why. I just don't get it.
I'll come back eventually. I think.
Can never come back.
Do you want to pause it and then just? Oh, there it goes.
There it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to get used to it because it's going off the Wi-Fi in this
We'll
one.
just say that it's
I don't
edited.
know.
Sometimes I'm here and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah, in editing, I'll just animate you as like a little smiley face.
like a puppet.
It's like just moves with your voice.
Just stick figure.
No,
Just
that's
make me
too
a
much.
stick
No,
figure.
if you guys want to hear me argue more about the Batman, then listen to that episode on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
funny.
definitely a different take. I was excited at the opportunity for them to tell multiple different stories in like different universes and stuff. But
Because you had the Joker movie before that, and
right, and they had talked about making other like different Batman movies. Like this Batman wasn't part of the DCU Batman that we've been watching with Ben Affleck. And they talked about having that different Superman. Who was it? It was the bad robot guy. What's his name?
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams was supposed to be doing a Superman movie.
Wow.
With
what isn't J.J. Abrams attached?
but it was that Earth 2 Superman, the Black Superman.
I mean, that's just the nature of DC. They reboot like every 6 years. So like, let's start
and
over.
it was
Now we're
cool
on
for them
Earth
to
32
like
now,
dive into the multiverse like in a backwards fashion than what Marvel was doing. Like we're just gonna show it to you.
I did just watch The Flash this weekend.
Oh, The Flash.
Yeah.
You know what? I could have enjoyed that movie.
I could have
I
too.
told you too, man. I was like, go watch it.
They didn't use the dancing babies from that old 90s computer.
The baby scene was a little weird to me because I felt like
they
he's
didn't
moving so fast though.
Well,
Like
the babies were cartoons. Like,
Well, yeah, that's the biggest problem.
And then a
is
baby in a
they're
microwave.
so fake. The babies are so over the top.
they spent a lot of time on the dog. The dog looked awesome.
But I thought it was cool. I thought because like it
it
showed
was an
him.
awesome scene, but I'm like, why
Yeah,
write the
it showed
scene
him-
if you can't execute it? Like, just do something
It
else.
showed him speeding up and slowing down, and he had to eat. And,
Yeah.
like he ran to the food first, and it was a whole little. The
Yeah.
girls laughed at that scene when he was grabbing babies and stuff.
yeah,
So
no, it was
It was a good
enjoyable.
scene. It just was.
It was for kids.
Bad CGI.
I mean, it wasn't something I would have paid to go see.
But then if you make the
That's all I'm
if
saying.
you make the babies look real, then it seems even weirder. Like
it's a weird scene, anyways.
yeah, that's why I think
And
they
then there's
left
other
it
parts too
cartoony.
where like they're in the Batwing and the second Flash is like he just looks like he's painted.
Oh, you think they messed up on that scene?
They just like double CGI'd him weird. It looked like
And I also-
Superman's mustache all over again.
I don't enjoy the way that they did their reverse Flash kind of storyline for that Flashpoint, where they made it himself.
Oh yeah.
And so now we didn't have like the Eobard Thawne is the one who killed
And what
your mother
happened?
type thing.
What happened to his arm? He got an extra like appendage.
No, yeah, they were like
the sword
every time he
thing?
got stabbed, he got a new.
Oh yeah, like
he gets it in his arm and then he starts using it.
and he started using it.
Didn't it hurt though? His arm's got to be hurting.
I've had this in my arm for 400 years. Like,
yeah, right.
more.
Yeah, like
there's definitely some questions.
It morphed into his arm, and then he was like, "Oh, I guess I'll kill now." And like,
that would still hurt.
That's what I'm saying. That would have been
I felt like they could have done Flashpoint a little bit more justice.
Yeah. And then every time they showed like it was cool seeing the Nick Cage version that never came out.
That was cool.
They had Christopher Reeves and stuff, but it just looked like a cartoon.
Tim Burton wasn't happy.
It looked
about
like
that.
a PS2 game.
He didn't care for it.
No, he was like, these studios, they just get to take your art and do whatever they want with it.
That?
And Tim Burton, he wasn't happy about that scene with Superman. He's like, that was something I was working on, and even
these
studios
what's his name, Michael?
They just do whatever they want. They just put.
He was talking about it too.
The actor.
Yeah. He was saying that like these movies are nonsense and. I'm like, you were just in this movie. You got paid. Like,
I mean, he'll take the money.
He'll take the money.
I'll take the money.
I
don't care if
at
DC
the end
wants
of it,
to shit on my childhood if they're going to pay me to do it.
At the end of it, he just said, do whatever you want with it. He's like, I don't even care anymore. And he's like, I'm just done.
I'm still cashing in the Nightmare Before Christmas money.
I'm done fighting. I'm done fighting with the studios, about
That's
that.
a good one.
Yeah.
Tim Burton's kind of quirky. Like I like his movies,
I would have loved to see that kind of quirky Tim Burton Superman movie. That would have been so cool.
Oh, it would have been awesome. He would have definitely come at it from a different angle.
It would have been super weird.
You guys seen that documentary about it?
I do like.
No, I never have.
No, it's pretty good. They go into detail about like the behind the scenes of everything that happened. They interview all these people.
Yeah, you can see Cage being fitted for the Superman suit.
Yeah. There's footage of
wearing
him.
it.
I've seen the photos of
the
before.
There's a whole scene where they're showing the whole.
They talk about all the drama with the script writers. Like they went through like 4 or 5 different.
So was that when he was
writers.
filming like Con Air? Because he had the same hair. Was that around the same time?
Oh, I want to say that movie was 94 to 96 somewhere in there.
Was around there,
yeah. He was in good shape back then.
I did like Superman Returns. I'm one of the few people that did like that movie.
I just wanted to watch it, but I never did.
It just would have been.
Yeah. And I watched all the like.
You never seen Superman Return?
The one with what's his name?
Brandon Ruth.
Yeah, Brandon Ruth.
When they changed for one.
Yeah, and he plays the Atom.
It was basically like part 3 of the original movie.
A continuation of it. Yeah, I never saw it, but I wanted to.
Not if you watch the Donner cut of the original movies, because it kind of contradicts stuff in there. But I love those old movies. I rewatched.
I feel like it's been a while since I've seen those too. Like a very long while.
Christopher Reeves was my Superman, so.
He's my Superman.
I didn't like Man of Steel when it came out. I thought it was like too slow.
Henry.
I still want to know how he shaved.
Henry
Did he have a
Cavill.
kryptonite like razor?
Yeah. He breaks off a shard and then he shaves.
I feel for me, I didn't latch on to any like specific actors as live action superheroes, so I still feel like the cartoon Supermans and Batman are what I think about. Like I'll hear their voices when I think about it. I always hear Mark Hamill when I think Joker.
Yeah, Joker.
Well, they're still making those movies, so I mean,
they've
lived on. Like that's how popular they are. That they're just their own thing. Like there's so many different versions of Batman. It's crazy. I don't know what other character has like this many different versions.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
himself.
Spider-Man's got a shit ton.
Well, Spider-Man.
There's a whole Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse.
It's probably got more than Batman. Actually,
yeah, I think it probably does.
Way more.
Spectacular. You got 2099. You got
Oh yeah, and then that's not just even like the multiverse ones. There's also like the
like actual comic runs.
Like the comic.
No, I'm not talking about comic. I'm just saying movies.
Oh,
like just the Batman movies that have been made.
Yeah,
like between cartoon movies and live action movies, there's been so many different just Batman movies. Which is kind of crazy.
That's true.
Yeah. I still like the.
Actually,
I
think Spider-Man's pretty up there too, because if we look at all the different, we had 3 in the first run, then 2, that's 5, and then we got 3 more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you got to count Miles, and you got to count.
Yeah, I mean, even if we just stick to the live action ones, do we count any crossover events that Spider-Man was in? If we didn't, what are we at? 8?
With 8 different Spider-Mans?
Live action. Well, not 8 different actors who played them.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
different
got the original,
actors.
the 60s series, and you got Toby. And you have...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the 60s.
Yeah, that was popular. And then you got who was after Toby?
Was there
Andrew Garfield.
Did they make movies in the 60s?
They actually did have a live action show in the 60s.
No, a show, but not a movie.
And then there was the Japanese one too.
I don't know. There was a live action Batman in like
70s.
the 30s though too. So in the 40s,
yeah.
We've gone through and looked at all the actors.
Yeah,
there was a lot of Supermans too. Yeah,
I know. I hope this new reset of DC like works out because I want them to take their time. And I mean, James Gunn's pretty good, so hopefully they can.
But even with the Spider-Mans though, they don't really change Spider-Man that much.
Well, no,
he's usually still the same.
Yeah.
Kind of quirky kid.
They did change it for Amazing quite a bit, which is why I kind of didn't care for those when it came out. I love him now, but like he was more cool and some sorts of nerd. Like he drove a skateboard and he was more angsty,
very more hipster like.
Yeah, that's something
for the time. I think
started changing him,
and they made him like dark, just slightly more.
He didn't
darker.
like jazz. You know?
No, he's like no.
I would say the same thing though. I feel like they really. When I was a kid, I grew up on the Spider-Man TV show from like the 90s, like the cartoon one.
Oh, okay.
And
that was
so
like around time X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Like when everything was like big and that. And so that was my first introduction to Spider-Man, and then I would glance at comics that like friends would have, but I never had. And then when the internet came out, I did more like comic book related like research. I torrented a bunch of original, the copies of the original issues and stuff, and I would read them. And so that was my introduction to it. And then so that very limited window, I never seen the Spider-Man where like the webbing was part of him. Like I didn't read those. Yeah, so that was like slightly newer for me. So when that was in the Tobey Maguire one, I was really not happy with it at first.
Well, a lot of people were kind of taken aback by that. Yeah.
And then there was a couple of other things.
I don't know if that was the first time they did that, actually.
To
have organic webbing like that. I'm not sure.
I feel like they might have done it in like some of the newer comics, because at one point I think they did do it in comics. But what I watched and witnessed, because there were so many different, they were spectacular, amazing, there was
sensational,
sensational. So they all had like the same similar story, but just in like different time periods, or just one or two things like tweaked a bit to make it whatever they were going for at the time with it, or whoever was running it. And so those then got adapted into certain things. So Tobey Maguire's is adapted from a specific comic book run that I didn't ever know existed. So I was a little like, didn't really care for it. I didn't care for the suit.
More to the original stuff.
Yeah, they did definitely
the
for
match
like
and all that stuff and try to get the car.
Which I enjoyed a lot for that.
Bone Crusher. Or Bone Saw.
Bone back and forth. But when the Andrew Garfield ones came out, that was way more exciting for me. And I think it was probably because I was in that like kind of teenage. I was like perfect age for it.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I got into comics. I used to I think I was maybe like in 4th, 5th grade. Halloween, we had a neighbor that would just pass out comic books. So,
that's sick.
Yeah, that was, instead of candy, he gave out comics. So I got like 3 different ones. One of them was I still have it. I mean, I don't still have it. I rebought it because I wanted it. It's the old Guardians of the Galaxy issue that came out during the Infinity War saga.
Oh, cool.
It's not Star-Lord or anything, it's the original, and like I used to read that thing over and over and over again, and that kind of got me into comic books more. And I mean, I like Spider-Man stuff, but back then, like there was really nothing, besides the cartoons. I watched the X-Men cartoon, and I think Iron Man had the cartoon back then. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It was just Batman and Spider-Man cartoon, X-Men.
Yeah, and then I started growing up on like the movies and like the animated movies and stuff like that. It wasn't until I think probably around 2016, 2017 is when I started collecting comics. And it was when the DC Rebirth had happened. So I figured like that was the perfect moment to like jump in on the Rebirth event.
Didn't Star Wars have comics?
Yeah, Marvel did the original ones.
Yeah, did you get any of those?
No, I didn't really collect anything Star Wars when I was a kid. I was a Ninja Turtle fan.
So when did you get into Star Wars? When was the first time you're like this?
Well, I mean, I've always watched them. Like
that's what I'm saying. When did you see him as a kid, like young?
Yeah, I one of my first memories is somebody must have recorded off of HBO the first time they showed Empire Strikes Back. And
well, they used to show them on local TV. Remember, they would do like
but back then in the 80s, they only showed on HBO. I wasn't even in school yet. I was like maybe 3 or 4.
But I want to say I watched it on like Fox or something. Like, remember how they used to put that? Yeah, they used to do every Christmas they would have like Star Wars movies on.
NBC showed it first on broadcast TV.
Yeah, they would show it on TV.
The only time I remember that was when they were making a big deal about it for episode 1 going on TV, and that's the first time I actually sat down and watched.
No, the old 70s version one, they used to show it on like it'd be on like weekend TV. Remember how they would do like half of the movie,
Saturday night movies and stuff like that.
Half of the movie one day, and then half of the movie. Oh, you missed that. We're older than you. They used to play movies.
In the 90s.
Yeah, because Empire Strikes Back came out the year I was born.
I was a child.
I didn't get to watch any of the original movies.
Dude, I used to watch Predator on regular TV. Remember when they used to show
They used to show Scarface on regular TV.
Yeah. Dude, they showed gnarly movies.
I feel like I remember some of that, but like I mentioned before, my dad, he always had a way of getting us like TV was important to him. Movies was important to him.
So he was getting it.
So he was getting it some way, and if he couldn't do it that way, then he was paying for like the extra packages.
He was getting like satellite stuff too, right?
Back in the 80s, you couldn't get Star Wars on video. They didn't sell it. Not until like the early 90s, like 89.
Well, by the time I remember
they stopped selling tapes.
They never sold it. It never came out. So like the version I had was just somebody recorded it and it just had like the label and said Empire Strikes Back on it. That's what I watched.
So there was no way for you to do like a home viewing.
No, that's why the records were so popular.
So after
people just listen to the soundtracks, buy the toys. There was no home video wasn't really a thing.
Look
like,
when they first.
It was like $100 to buy a video back then for one movie. That's why video stores like became a thing because the video stores would buy the $100 copy. And then they let people rent it out for like $2 a pop, and they'd make their profit back like right away. That's how.
That's so interesting because by the time like I was, venturing to that, Blockbuster was like we always went to Blockbuster. I was probably like 5-7 years old.
I remember we rented a VCR from Blockbuster because we didn't have a VCR. Yeah, you could rent a VCR.
Yeah, I think like I remember VCRs. We grew up with them, but then I remember when the DVDs came out.
Look up first VHS Star Wars.
I want to say it was like around like 90, 89.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being like 3 years old watching Empire Strikes Back and eating the C-3PO cereal.
But in my living room. They were just remastering the sound back then. They weren't even messing.
I don't think they really did anything back then. It was just
I think they upped the sound quality, but that was
the very first home video release of any Star Wars film came in May of 1982 when 20th Century Fox Video released Star Wars Episode 4 New Hope on VHS, Betamax, Laserdisc, CED
that
video
disc one is sought after.
I don't even know these last two.
Supposedly,
and V2000 tape cassettes.
Supposedly that Laserdisc is the only way you can get a good quality of the original versions without any edits.
You know what? When I started to look in, because the first time I saw him was on VHS. I had a friend whose dad was obsessed with it, and so he had all the toys. And so my version of Star Wars growing up was all of the toys and my friend wanting to watch it every time I went over to his house, and he had the lightsabers and he had like everything, like bins and bins full of collectibles and toys we would play with all the time. And that's all he had. And we would even go to a place in, where was it? I think it was Fairfax. No, somewhere in California. It was called Frankenson's Collectibles, and it was like a trade show warehouse. People would set up their stands and
kind of like collectors marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. And we would always go to like find all the crazy Star Wars stuff. So I remember we watched all the movies. We had like a movie marathon. He stayed at my house and we threw it on VHS and sat down and watched them all for the first time. And I was probably in, heading into junior high, if not like maybe 6th or 7th grade around that time. That's the time I first watched everything through. So
what'd you think after you watched the first one? Do you remember?
I remember liking it because, I was already familiar with the toys. And so when I saw the characters show up, I was like, well, wait, don't you have the toy for that one? And he had toys of obscure characters that, like, why would they make a toy of that background, dude? You have it. So.
Just the guy pushing buttons.
And then for me, it was the video games. So I grew up around when the Battlefront came out.
Oh, okay, Battlefront.
Yeah, so that's when I was like getting into Battlefront 2.
That was Xbox.
And then the Star Wars Commandos one.
There was a Clone Wars one. Yeah, Republic Commandos.
Yeah, Republic Commandos. I loved that. It was the first person.
The Jedi Knight Saga.
It was so cool. Yeah, the Jedi Knight Saga.
Didn't they make an Xbox Connect one?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, I played that. Yeah, I used to play that, and I would take my lightsaber because that's all I wanted in 6th grade for like a Christmas gift exchange was a lightsaber. And I remember I got 3 because I had asked everybody for it. So I got one as a gift exchange, and it was just like the generic, it was probably around the time episode 1 or 2 came out. So it was just the generic, swing them open.
Yeah.
I have an Obi-Wan. I have a Darth Vader. I have I think I have an Anakin Skywalker one.
Wow.
Upstairs, and then there's a Mace Windu. I have a Mace Windu.
That many lightsabers?
I have 4, yeah.
You didn't bring any of them down?
Are they like the Force effects lightsabers?
No, they have no effects at all. They're just generic, you swing them open and they're beat up. Because I remember I took 2 with me to go to the, it was episode 3 screening. And, the movie theaters, they didn't let you in at 8, on Thursday. You had to get in at 12:01. Yeah. That's your ticket time. Yeah. So we were in line at the movie theater, and they were going to have, pretty much the entire cinema was playing different Star Wars in the theater. So there's multiple showings. So we're all waiting in line. It's going around the building, and we're out there swinging around and fighting with our lightsabers in the parking lot and everything.
Fighting random people.
Yeah, and I had 2. So I always thought it was cool because I dual wielded them.
Yeah.
And I held them like Ahsoka did. I would throw them and switch them.
So much lead up to that release. George Lucas was on the OC. I don't know if you remember that on an episode. Yeah, me and my wife, we were dating back then, and we went to go eat. We went to Palm Valley Cinema, which is no longer in existence anymore. And we went and waited in line at 10. Well, it's 10:30. We better go wait in line if we want to get a good spot.
Yeah, exactly.
We waited for an hour and a half. Yeah, people were on the stage doing lightsaber fights before the movie. It was awesome. People were dressed up in costume.
Yeah, so many people.
It
was so fun. It was so cool.
You can't do that anymore because now they have the assigned seating and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I was probably in 7th or 8th grade when that came out, and I remember it was a school night. It was the first time my mom let us stay out, and it got home at 3:30
for every
still
movie.
Had to go to school the next day. Yeah, I can go grab them. We're gonna play with them.
Grab one.
Yeah, I'll just grab them all.
Okay, yeah.
Because we stood in line for that, and then I think when episode 2 came out, I was working that night, and my cousin worked for AMC at the time. And then he called me up at 9 o'clock or something like that because they would have to screen the movies before, they showed them to the public. Yeah. And so he called me up. He said something like, "Oh, Yoda is such a badass," or something. I'm like, "Thanks for spoiling the movie for me. Now I gotta wait for expect for this thing to happen." And then I didn't get to watch it that night. I was mad I couldn't go to the midnight showing, but I went with my mom for the first showing, and we watched that. But
I think everything's digital now.
Episode 2 was the first fully digital release movie.
No, I'm saying even they were still sending them this though.
No, yeah, but for episode 2 they couldn't play. George Lucas had to send projectors to the theaters for them to show his movie. And so now they're just standard now.
Now everything's just digital. It's a just website they go to now where they have access to the.
Which is weird. Why can't they just re-release movies if it's that simple? People would go watch things.
You can rent the theater.
You can rent it,
and then play whatever you want. So if you wanted to rent it,
I want to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. Let's rent out the theater.
You could just rent the theater out, get a bunch of your friends, and watch whatever Star Wars movie you wanted to.
We're gonna watch Police Academy 2.
We should do that.
Or what's even better. What's even cooler is you can rent it and then bring your Xbox and then you can play.
Oh yeah, you can play games there. You can rent out for games.
Yeah, in high school we used to pull down the projector screen and do that in our theater.
While you're sitting there on the giant screen.
You can do Royal Rumble, dude.
Let's play Tetris.
You could WWE style, dude. You could just have a Royal Rumble, dude, and just be all fighting in the cage
and stuff. Mortal Kombat on a giant screen or Fortnite.
Mortal Kombat 1. They went back around and started from 1 again.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't looked at it because I don't want to buy it.
Okay, so this is
these are the ones.
Go ahead, pop it out.
I have that
too. They're definitely worn.
That would be Anakin's.
These are a couple of them. This one is Obi-Wan's, but it's got
it's purple.
Yeah, but I know it's not his actual hilt.
It doesn't say BMF on there. that's what Mace Windu says on there. Because it's Sam Jackson.
Yeah, this one's not gonna stay up, but
that's okay. Yeah,
that one's.
But you get the idea. So
that's why I like playing. I'm playing Jedi Survivor 2002. Right now. But you can put that end cap on your lightsaber when you customize it on Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You find different.
Wait, that's the new one, right?
Yeah, you find different materials. You can do it in the first one too, but there's more options.
I've only played the first one. What was it, Fallen Order?
Yeah, Fallen Order. Yeah, I'm trying to get through Jedi Survivor. And playing Spider-Man on my PC, and
yes, I've been playing the Spider-Man.
I'm like at 96%. So
I don't know.
done.
I'm getting stuck in Starfield right now. Like that's
I
the one I spend all my time with.
I know I'm doing like 4 of the games.
And it's so hard to run for most people. And then I realized like I can't even. Like I have a 3080 Ti, and I still can't get it to run at 4K 60 on there. And it'll top out at 4K 30.
It's a lot of tearing, or is it?
No, it looks beautiful. I'm just saying, I'd feel bad because I have a friend who's running a 1080 Ti, and he can't even. He's got to play on the lowest settings, and even then it crashes.
Wow,
that game is just.
There's a
and
lot
I
of
heard
mods
they said somebody higher up, like one of the developers on the game, had mentioned something. And they like questioned him about, why is the PC game take so much requirements? Like, how come it takes this much to run it? And he replied, was like, well, the game is fine on the running settings. It's your PC that sucks.
Yeah, basically.
He's just telling people to upgrade their shit.
Yeah, but like people with my graphics card is.
You wonder, like, if the PC companies are like, can you push these games further so they can upgrade?
But like the fact that you need something like that, because
when they make them, the guys that are making them have the best shit, and so they want it to look like that. But they don't care that not everybody has that kind of. But they can make it run on an Xbox fine, Yeah, they changed all the settings.
Yeah, just like Last of Us came out remastered on PC, and that was having a lot of problems when that came out. Yeah,
but the modifications you can have for the PC version is ridiculous. Somebody already created a mod for Star Wars characters, like so all the in-game. Like,
dude, I've barely even gotten past like the first mission on this. It's how like little time I get to play.
I didn't even look at the trailer for that game. I'm like, I'm playing too much.
You can turn all the
too. I'm like,
you can turn all the NPCs into stormtroopers.
That game's fun.
What really?
Yeah, and then they even have they even sound like stormtroopers. There's sound.
I've seen people building the ships in there and everything.
Yeah,
and that's been
the
pretty
ships
cool.
are
people are building like Star Wars ships in Zelda, like. Because there's the building. Yeah,
I've just started playing Breath of the Wild. I haven't got very far on that one. I'm so late on it. But a friend gave me the cart, and I was like, all right, I'll try it.
Yeah, that new one looks pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for this rumored Switch 2 to come out before I start investing more into Nintendo.
They don't switch the Switch.
No, the Switch came out like, 2015?
Yeah. It's still good.
I still have. I mean, it's fine.
There's some already leaks about the new Switch.
Yeah,
they say it's supposed to be like on par with like the Rock.
Hopefully, they let you use
the
a headset
Deck.
with Bluetooth on the new one if they do that, because that's annoying that you can't use a Bluetooth headset.
You can't use Bluetooth headset.
You have to use Nintendo's.
No, but you have to plug it into the controller. I had to buy a special controller that had a port for it because you can listen audio on Bluetooth, but you can't talk.
Oh, no mic support.
Yeah,
that's
no mic
stupid.
Support. Yeah,
I thought Nintendo had their own mics though.
I don't play online for the Switch though.
But you have to plug it into the 3mm port and buy the special Nintendo controller because they want you to have everything.
Nintendo likes to have their own in-brand stuff, just like Apple.
When we play Fortnite,
their
I'm on
fucking
the Series
games
X
that they released with the Switch console are still $60.
Right?
So fucking ridiculous.
Mario Kart, the original, like, no one's playing those really anymore. Like, well, Mario Kart, yeah, but yeah,
their games hold up though.
Breath of the Wild is still like $70.
Yeah, I know. So when my friend gave it to me, I was like, okay. I mean,
There's
that's cool.
DS
He's like, I just have an extra.
That are like for like $60, $100.
Nintendo does have a good resale
stuff
though.
like that.
You can resell.
It doesn't. It ages like shoes.
Yeah,
it's
I
crazy.
did keep the box, and I do have like one of the cooler things I got is that little cart with the little camera thing. So the Mario Kart Live. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah. I never got that one. Yeah.
No, it's fun.
I love
it's fun.
We drove his car.
It just takes some setup, but it's cool. Dogs hate it.
It's so weird how the camera, like we're watching the car, and the car's just going like that. But then you look on the screen, it's all.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
yeah,
it's like
they really do create making it
so
seem
crazy
like it's going
it's
so
like,
fast. And the little car's just like making its little turns, like.
Is it weird though? Like,
yeah, and you're like, whoa! You're like, you think you're just like skidding.
It's because they got the
stuff?
music, and then they have the characters, the AR characters that are like driving next to you and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They did a really good job with the program is.
Yeah.
So it looks cool. you can make your own little courses in your house. So.
And I've had him like go from like the dining room all the way into here, and we'd race, and then me and Crystal would try to see who can get the best time doing it. And I try to make them like a little interesting, where they got to go underneath chairs and around
you
desk
can set
legs
up
and stuff.
The churns and put arrows.
Yeah, and you can actually print out your own arrows. And I think someone did like a test to see how many the system could actually recognize, and the number was pretty high. Like it was a pretty decent height.
So you can make a real crazy course.
You can make them definitely interesting. I think it was like, God, I can't remember, because they give you like I think 4 arrows or something and 4 gates. And I don't think you can do any more than that for the gates, but for the arrows, they don't even have to be like anything too crazy. Like you
have
can
you
just
ever
print
done
them
like
out.
the cardboard? They have those ones you can make like controllers out of cardboard and steering wheel.
I forget what that's called.
I forgot what it's called too.
But I know what you're talking about, like the
those
instruments and stuff out of cardboard.
It's like Nintendo comes out with stuff and then like months later it's gone. Like you can't find the amiibos, you can't find stuff like that.
I don't think I've ever owned an amiibo.
I have a couple. I got the Mario ones for when the Bowser game came out.
And they still support them, but I don't understand, like, is it just for like getting characters in games and stuff? Or?
It's kind of like if you're Animal Crossing, you just get like certain little like clothing items and stuff like that. But yeah, mostly for Smash Bros. For Smash Bros, whatever character it is, they'll go in the game.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Will it look like the amiibo?
Yeah.
I guess that's interesting. Yeah.
It would have like special powers though, like if it's like Donkey Kong or something.
Well, it's Smash Bros, so they have like every power.
I guess that character already exists, right, in the game.
Yeah.
So whatever.
You're just unlocking it.
You're just unlocking it. Okay. Because I'm like, how are they going to create characters that don't exist?
Yeah, I have an Xbox and a PC, and I have a Switch. So like going back and forth between games, it's like, and I still have my original Xbox.
For us, we have the Wii U, which I modded, so it's got a bunch of games on it, and then we have the Switch and just the PC. I had the Xbox. I sold it to Los. That's where he got his from. But yeah, because with Xbox Game Pass, everything I want to play is on the PC anyway. So I really didn't see the point of still having the console.
No, yeah. All you need is your computer now.
Because I have this tied up to the TV. And the controller USB for the computer is on the other side of this wall too. So I can just sit on the couch and I can game from there. And I enjoy doing that. I like just gaming on the couch.
We split up at home. So I'm on the Series X. My wife's on the Xbox One and my daughter's on the Switch. So we split up on Fortnite with the headsets and everything. So
on Fortnite?
Yeah.
That's
Xbox
cool.
One.
Yeah, I like Fortnite.
One?
You don't like Fortnite, do you?
Oh, no, dude. It's stupid.
Look, I didn't like it until they got the no build mode. When they got no build mode, that's when I got into it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we've been playing it since like it was a year in, I think.
I tried it when it first came out, and I just didn't care for the building.
We just refused to buy like V-Bucks and stuff for like the first couple of years.
I wouldn't do that
regret
either.
not doing that because I want
like
those
limited
skins
stuff that you can't get anymore.
Yeah. I bought all the Star Wars skins now, and I have all the Marvel stuff. I can be Thanos if I want to.
Yeah, there you go. No, I didn't want to buy anything. I don't care that much. I just like gunning.
If it's Star Wars, I'm gonna just take my money.
Just too cartoony for me. Yeah.
What if there was like a mod to make it more realistic looking?
Yeah, if they just make it look like Halo, then yeah. Then
I could not get into Halo. I've tried like 3 times in separate Halo games and I could not.
Dude, I love Halo.
Yeah,
Halo. I could not get into it. I'm like,
Halo's the original. When you got your first Xbox,
the last one that came out with the
Halo
Series X, I tried playing. I'm like, this. The capture the plot. I'm like, this is just weird. Like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the first
I couldn't
Xbox,
get in Call of Duty either. So
the first Xbox, when you got it, you got Halo. That's what you started with. So
yeah, I think
it was the running game. It was
for us when we got it. We got the Xbox when they gave they switched from the Duke controllers to the S controllers.
The smaller
ones.
Yeah,
and so that one, our Xbox came bundled with Jet Set Radio Future and. I think it was like some dirt game or something. I can't remember the other one.
Is that like original Xbox or?
Probably
the original Xbox.
I bought mine refurbished from GameStop, so it didn't have anything with it. But I used to play GTA San Andreas on there all the time.
Yeah, I loved it. We play that. Yeah, San Andreas, Tony Hawk,
Battlefront, the Episode 3 game.
And the cool thing was like the hard drive, you'd put your own music on there.
Yeah, that's what I used it for a lot too.
When we played it, I listened to like The Offspring and System of a Down and Linkin Park because that's the only 3 CDs we owned.
Vice, man. GTA Vice. You go to tape deck and then you just drive
San
around
Andreas,
the city.
I was playing like Snoop.
That was the next one. But yeah, when because GTA was locked up with PlayStation and they wouldn't release. I remember when GTA Vice City came out, they wouldn't release it for Xbox. It was only PlayStation.
Yeah, because I played 3 on PS2.
Yeah, you had to play them on PlayStation. So, yeah, when they came out.
They eventually did, though.
What happened to CJ? From San Andreas.
No. So they did reference him in another game.
In one of the newer ones?
Yeah, I just don't remember.
Dude.
Can you believe that when was it that Grand Theft Auto 5 came out? Because it released on the 360.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago, too.
Yeah. That game's been out for like fucking forever.
Dude, the new one's going to be crazy.
Isn't there an online one or something right now?
They added online to it.
Okay.
But like that's all they've just been doing to this game. They've just been adding more to it.
Last year. I'm like, I didn't know they had an online version of it.
I'm just surprised people are still playing it. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to come out
soon. If you let it play, it's going to get pulled off of YouTube. Just to let you know. They don't play with the Star Wars music. Yep.
There you go. Yeah. You can meet it. I enjoyed the visuals.
We had 15 seconds of it on one of our shows, and I could not put it up on YouTube.
Oh, they just stopped it.
Yeah,
that's funny. And it was just the sound.
Yeah, just the sound.
Did you have it?
But it's weird because then we'll review trailers and stuff on there and play the audio.
You think I can get another one of those? I really like this.
I don't know how cool they are.
And I didn't know I would. Because I usually don't like an IPA, but the Stone's pretty good.
Oh, here's the...
Oh, it's West Coast. That's probably why.
West Coast?
West Coast
I think when the special editions came out in the 90s, that's when I really got into Star Wars again from when I was a kid. So
you would say 90s is when you really started becoming a fan.
97, 96, it kind of... Well, the new movies came out.
Oh, so when episode 1...
Yeah, then I really got into it.
Then you were like, yes.
Because then I was out of high school, and then I could buy my own merch. And
I will eventually start my own podcast with this and shit.
What about you, Pete?
Star Wars?
You ever get into that stuff like that?
I tried getting him into it multiple times.
I watched Star Wars. I mean, I've seen them. I've seen all the movies. I like them. I like the characters. I'm just not a hardcore I mean, I do like stuff from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I have an X-wing. It looks like the schematic picture.
Oh yeah.
So
dude, when I built this, I loved this. I would play. Oh, I just broke it. I would play with this all the time. I don't know what piece.
It's hard not to like Star Wars.
There's just so much stuff. No matter what
it's just just been a part of my life. Like I said, watching the movies on the TV, on the movie day, the movie night of the week or something, And
then I don't stop talking about it anymore.
That's okay. It's made of Lego. It's supposed to do that.
Is that an original? Yeah, that's an old school one, right?
No, I don't think it's original or anything. But I got it maybe about a year ago for Christmas.
These Legos are in demand, dude.
It's crazy if you look at the '90s ones of Lego. There are no customizable parts on there. They're just basic Lego bricks, and those things go for a pretty coin.
Damn, really?
Yeah, dude. It's a market, dude. There's a whole Lego.
Take a look if you want. The little missiles shoot, too.
I have this art, too. Yeah, with the ones with the yellow faces and all that stuff. Those ones are... I have Yoda's Jedi... Oh,
there it is.
I have Yoda's Jedi Starfighter Lego, and it has that same art, too, with it. That's cool.
That's cool.
S-foils in position.
So, yeah, it Star Wars is a part. It feels like it's a part of your childhood, dude.
It was kind of part of everybody's. It was just
because it was just on, and there was always the Star Wars lunchboxes, and the toys were the biggest. For the longest time, because they stopped. When was the third one? When did the third one come out?
2005. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not the third one. The sixth one. When was the episode 6?
Episode 3.
No, episode 6. Remember 4, 5, 6.
That was 83.
Yeah. 83. So from 83 to 99?
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Well, they had a line in the mid 90s, Shadow of the Empire. They came, but those are they did a whole thing where they did a record that came out with the soundtrack. They had a book. They had the video game for N64, Shadow of the Empire. Yeah. And then they had comics and they had action figures for that. But
yeah, so
they always did release lines, but doesn't mean that there was anything out at the time.
Yeah, and it was just the toys and the.
They did Power of the Force. It was like bulked up versions of like Han Solo and Luke, and they're like muscular and look like He-Man. Yeah, those are funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the just the 3 original movies carried that franchise into
for like almost 20 years.
It just wouldn't go away. So they were like, we got to do, and I think that's how they convinced George Lucas to make more movies.
He got done with Indiana Jones and he started writing episode 1. So Last Crusade came out and he's like, well, what are we going to do now? So then I think he just went back.
That's when he went back.
Now I got money.
But they asked him to do it. They asked him to do it after the third one. Of course, there was
a whole generation. It was perfect for like the nostalgia of it.
Yeah.
Like we're already looking at what, almost 20 years?
Yeah. It was 77 and 97.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the people, like the target area was... These people started to have kids that were in an era to where they can start experiencing it.
And that's the thing with Star Wars. It's like really generational. So you got like people that grew up watching the original trilogy. When the prequels came out, they were like, oh, this isn't my Star Wars. But those kids that watched it, those kids are grown now. They're like, oh, I love the prequel. That's why you get Anakin showing up in Ahsoka and stuff like that. It's like, and now you got the people that like the prequels and they don't like the new movies. But then those kids are going to grow up in like 10 years and be like, oh, Poe's my favorite. And Reagan,
and then they're going to continue with Rey's story, aren't they?
Yeah, they're supposed to make another trilogy with,
Are they going to bring Adam Driver back too? Or
he's dead.
He's dead.
He did.
People can always come back
somehow. As a ghost, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Well, they could always do. There's always.
They brought Liam Neeson back and he died. So
there's ways, or they could just do a whole side story of him as a younger version. Or
I hope they do like a Clone Wars kind of show.
What if they show
in between?
So that's the recent news I just heard today. Was I guess Rosario Dawson and what's Anakin, the guy's name?
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden. I can never remember that name. I always want to say Christian something, but it's Christensen.
Yeah.
But they were talking about...
I know, when you guys are talking about little Anakin, I'm like, it's Jake Lloyd. It's Jake Lloyd. You're like, what's his name? I'm like,
what's his name? What's that kid's name? Oh, that poor kid. I remember reading about him.
Oh, he got bullied so hard, like, because nobody liked the movie. So he got... People were saying he was they called him Mannequin Skywalker because they said his acting was wooden, and he just didn't want to come back after that, and it messed him up.
Poor guy. That's wrong for kids. But what was I saying?
I don't know.
I forget. I was saying
Rosario
something.
Dawson and Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. So I guess there is talks of some form of a live action Clone Wars series. Supposedly.
I think people are just kind of wanting that because of what happened in the last episode.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's all it takes, though. If they see an audience for something, they'll do it. So if people are making this much of a hype about it or a noise about it, then they'll do it. They'll write a script and
I forget that like Clone Wars was like a generational thing for so many people.
That was their trilogy. It was like what it ran from.
It was huge on Disney.
2007
till like last year.
Yeah,
if you watch Disney, you saw a commercial for Clone Wars. It was always they were always
and I didn't watch
advertising.
When it came
I swear
out.
I didn't watch it either. I
it was
watched
on
it
Cartoon Network on like Friday nights. I'm like, I was working. I was like 20-something years old. I'm like, I don't have time to.
When I watched Clone Wars, it was when it came on between shows, and it was the one from they did the animation like the Samurai Jack.
Oh, that was the Gendy series, the micro series. Yeah.
So that's what I knew. And then when they came out with this other 3D looking one, I was like, well, this is a little weird.
They look
for
like
me.
Like mannequins and
and Crystal, my wife, she won't watch it, but I'm telling her like you would like it. It's fun.
It's good. It's good. There's the movie and there, but like you have to watch it in chronological order. You can't.
Yeah. No, and I did. When I watched it because I'd always seen bits and clips of it, but I never like sat down and watched it. And so when I decided I wanted to do that,
I think I rewatched it like 4 times.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I went online. I found because they released it. So they were just
pushing out whatever episode they had done. They're like,
but there's a story, and each one of these episodes follows a different like battle or a different
planet they're on or some kind of crisis
that they're doing in the war, like a period of the war, and so they didn't release that in the order in which these occur in the war, but you can watch them in that order, and the shit makes so much more sense.
They basically did little arcs, and this arc's done. Let's put that one out. This one's, So there's the instance where like Padme had that Uncle Ono guy who was like a Greedo alien.
Yeah,
and he dies in an episode, then he comes back later if you watch it in the release order.
If you watch in the release order, yeah, he's there because they did snippets of these in different, because they all take place in a specific timeline, a specific time order, but we're watching them out of order.
And some episodes, Ahsoka's not there, and she should be, but it's because it was supposed to be before the movie happened, There's a movie too. So
yeah, they made a movie.
You got to watch the first 2 episodes and watch the movie.
I think it was just the animation. I didn't like how it looked. Remember how it looked kind of weird?
I didn't start watching it until they brought Darth Maul back. Then I was like, I got to watch this.
The thing that made me want to watch it was I saw online a clip of someone diagnosing this fight between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan when Darth Maul goes to find Luke on
Rebels.
From Rebels.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so when I saw that clip...
Oh, so you watched it recently?
I thought it was... Well, this clip had come out. I forgot when. Yeah, I did watch it recently. So it was within the last year or two
16, 20.
that I watched. It was before the season 7 one came out.
Okay.
And so
there was a gap.
when I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe I want to give this a go. Because that was just so interesting to me.
Was that before or after Solo? When they brought him back for live action? It was probably before.
I don't know. But that's when I started rewatching it, and I Googled it. I had a friend who had talked about it and was like, you have to watch it in the chronological order, and he educated me on it. So I went and I started watching it like that in that order. Couldn't get Crystal to sit down with me, but like it was just so... I started with the Clone Wars. I went all the way up through Rebels. I refused to watch the next one. What was it?
Can you watch them now?
The Resistance?
I like Resistance.
Can you watch them now?
I heard it wasn't good, so I was like, you know what? I never cared for the
smaller
newest
ensemble.
3 movies.
It didn't jump around.
Like,
It didn't jump around. It was really like early on. It actually does run into Force Awakens. Like it shows scenes from the movie.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. General Hux and all that stuff's in there. Captain Phasma. Yeah. So it kind of, I think Kylo Ren shows up at one point. Yeah. So it's a different story, but it's younger audience-y. It was Disney XD, which is like the teeny kind of Disney. But I liked it. It was funny. It was cool.
Can you watch it all now on Disney Plus?
Oh yeah, it's all.
Yeah, it's all on Disney Plus, but you still have to watch it.
They don't have it set for the order?
I don't think they do. Do they?
They do have a chronological timeline.
They do?
I think on there.
Yeah, because they do it for Marvel.
No, but they have like watch the series first and not the actual individual episodes. But you can go on StarWars.com and there's a list that you can
pull up. That's so annoying that you have to do it that way.
It's not really going to matter if you're just casually watching it, but if you want to be a purist and
if you want to get the whole story,
if you want to be a Star Wars
if you want to watch
like
it,
us, then
in
order to watch it like that.
Definitely,
you don't have to.
I would recommend.
I would recommend it too because it's fun just to flip around. Which one's next? That's what me and Elena were doing. We were just like,
and then it made more sense if you did it that
you only
way.
have to do. I think by the time you get to
it stops.
Yeah. So it's only for the
and
first.
There's 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm. So. First 3 seasons are
I had to, when I rewatched it. Netflix wasn't a thing. Netflix was just like sending the DVDs in, so I had to order the discs to come in mail.
Really? Damn.
And then one time they came in out of order, so I had to wait till the next one came in, and then.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. They used to have that disc on the.
I guess I did it at the right time when it was all on
Disney
the Wii.
Plus. You had to put the disc in from Netflix, so you.
Yes, you had to put the Netflix disc to use the Wii U.
I was like, cool, we can stream it from here. Now you can just stream it from your phone. Yeah.
Stream it
We're
from your
spoiled
toilet.
now, man. You can watch anything.
Spoiled.
Yeah, you can stream it from your refrigerator.
You can watch The Flash and then turn around and watch 89 Batman and then watch,
I do like all the Batman that's on HBO. That's fun. I like all the.
I'm trying to get my daughter to go through all the old movies, but she won't rewatch 89 Batman. She's like, these are weird. We did go through the Nolan trilogy, and she liked those.
Those were so weird, but they were so fun. They were very nostalgic.
I don't think I've ever finished watching Batman Forever.
No?
I feel
like I watched them all through.
Wait, Batman Forever with Jim Carrey?
Yeah, I did not like it when I was when it came out. I was like, 13? I was like, 93?
That was my shit, man.
Was it 93, 94? I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a time.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
John, if you go back, Jim Carrey was just dropping hit after hit after hit. He went on a tear.
And then he made that one.
he made what is it? What was it? Pet Detective.
Ace Ventura, then Liar.
Pet Detective, Liar. He did.
he was coming off of Living Color.
Mask.
Yeah.
He
The
did
Mask was huge.
Batman. Like
The Mask was Loki.
He did all of these either within the same year or the next year. Yeah. Like he was just boom, boom, boom. He was knocking them all out, and they're all still hits.
He had a drug problem.
Like
a lot of cocaine.
Like Liar Liar is still like it holds up. You can watch it now. You know, it's like, I mean, there's some people like Ace Ventura, some people don't. It's pretty crazy.
I haven't watched those movies in forever.
I just remember the rhino birth.
That was the second one, When Nature Calls. So stupid.
I don't think I've watched those movies since the 90s.
Yeah. No, dude. Liar Liar is still an awesome movie. You know, it's just a story about dad and his kid, you know? And if you can't lie to your kid, you know, it creates... His kid got lied to so much that he wished his dad wouldn't lie anymore. And his dad's a lawyer.
Dude, that's kind of fucked up.
And his dad's a lawyer.
That's just so fucked up.
So imagine being in court and you can't lie.
He was a defense attorney, wasn't he? Right.
He was, he was defending a lady that cheated on her husband. Yeah,
he's like, she probably did it.
And he knew he shouldn't take the case, but he got wrapped up in the money and stuff like that. Like, he didn't want to take it at first, but then they kind of talked him into it. It was the typical
90s movie where the dad works too much and it's not around. The kid's kind of angry. Like,
but it's with Jim Carrey, so he's so animated and,
jumping, falling down and all that
stuff. He can't lie to himself. He can't even say a pen is blue.
There's some parts of that movie that irked me, though, because there's times when he could have kept his mouth shut and he just kept talking. I'm like, well, you're not lying if you're keeping your mouth shut. But it was for comical reasons. They had him saying everything
if someone asks a question and you just don't answer it, then that becomes like...
But he was just saying information they didn't even ask. And they did it for comedy. But, like...
Yeah. I don't think I ever broke it down like that. Like, he could have just not talked.
I watched a ton of movies when I was a kid. That's all I did was watch movies.
I just liked it.
And watch SNL. That's all I did.
Yeah, it was just funny that you couldn't lie. You know, like, if you could... even in your day-to-day, because, like, he would go in an elevator and he couldn't lie. You know? Like, he couldn't lie to anybody. You know? So, yeah, you could be a weirdo and just stand there, like, he was still talking, and he thought he could overtake... He thought he could push out. I think that's what it was, is that he thought he could push out the lie,
work through it.
But then he would push out the truth instead. So...
Like, he couldn't... Maybe it's because he couldn't, like, hesitate to speak his mind. He had to actually...
He was a talker.
Say it. Yeah.
Most lawyers are talkers. They can't stop not talking. You met lawyers, right? Aren't they just
his inner monologue was... overworked because of the birthday wish.
No inner monologue.
Did they ever explain why that happened? Or was it just why the wish worked?
The wish? It was just...
It wasn't like big...
Was it just a birthday wish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a birthday wish. And then he birthday wished it off.
Yeah, didn't he try to force him to do it too?
Yeah, he took it to school and then he's like, all right.
I need you to make a wish.
Yeah, he's like, all right. And then he went to test it and then he walked over to a lady and you can't hear what he says, but then she just slaps him across the face. And then he walks back and he goes, nope, it didn't work. And he's like, because I didn't mean it this time, Dad. You know? Like but I don't know. It's just a movie. You know? It wasn't supposed to be like that deep. But it was fun. It was a fun movie.
Those movies were huge back then.
Oh, dude, he was killing the game. But I thought he did really good as Riddler, dude. He had his own mannerisms. He was quirky, a little bit like the old Riddler. You remember the old version?
I grew up watching the old Adam West show. That was my Batman.
It was kind of a little bit like that because he was skinny.
It's funny because as those movies progress, when you got into like the George Clooney ones, they're totally doing the camera angles from the TV show and the bright colors and all that stuff.
They did do a little pow and wham and stuff like that.
They went from, where Batman was campy and funny to serious and weird, and then they went back to campy and funny, and then they went back to serious again, and it just got more serious and serious and serious.
Oh, Joker is like the ultimate
everything
serious.
Is in like a red filter, and then we get the Batman.
I am the Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you had bat pecs back then in the 90s, and you had the bat crotch. Remember?
Oh, the bat nipples.
The bat nipples.
The bat nipples, man.
They would zoom in on it too. Remember?
Do you remember like the bat
so
Nikes?
Weird. He would turn around. Oh, dude, that's all.
The bat
Visa. I've never seen that entire movie.
Well, they did in all of them though. They did in the
not in the Keaton ones.
No, not. No. I'm talking about the George Clooney and the Val
George
Kilmer.
Did one or two? They each did one, right? Val Kilmer did Forever.
Did one.
Yeah, they each did one except for I think
Keaton did two.
Keaton did two.
That second Batman Return with that Tim Burton just went off the rails on that movie. You watch it now, it's like really like.
But Tim only did the.
He did the second one.
The two. Yeah. And then it was what, Schumacher?
Yeah, Schumacher.
He took over and
did
then
he
made
do
it
3 and 4?
I don't know.
I gotta watch those though. I've been wanting to go back and watch them just to.
They're not bad. I put on Forever for the girls, and they were getting into it. They're like, oh yeah.
It's like I was really hardcore
just weird.
Turtle fan when I was
different.
a kid. I had like every action figure. I'd never seen part 3 of the movies. I just watched it like 2 weekends ago for the first time, and I loved it. It was good. I'm like, I wish I would have watched this when I was like 13 when it came out. But by that point, I was done. And I was like, this is done. They're time traveling now. They ran out of ideas. But I just watched it like a couple weekends ago. I'm like, this is a cool movie.
Wait, which one? Which movie?
Ninja Turtles Part 3. Live action.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of the Ninja Turtles live action movies.
You never saw the
live
original
action ones? Like, no.
They're wearing suits and they're doing karate and suits?
No, wait. I'm sorry. The 90s ones, yeah. Okay.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the new
ones.
Michael Bay ones.
I watched the first Michael Bay one. I didn't watch the second Michael Bay one.
What I really want to see is that Seth Rogen one.
That one was good.
That one looks good. Oh, you did?
Yeah, I just watched that one.
Yeah, it looks super good. I was just waiting for it to stream.
It was a deviation, but it was, it's a different version.
It was kind of like the Into the Spider-Verse, like cartoony.
Yeah, but it was the
it was the same animation.
It looks a little sleeker in Spider-Verse. Is when they kind of went a more gritty and everything looks disgusting.
Was it the same?
It's like the Garbage Pail Kids version of Spider-Verse. Everything looks like grotesque and
Was it the same like animation company? I wonder.
I want to say it was slightly different because the frames per second were kind of more delayed, so it looks more choppy than Spider-Verse.
They could have done that to make it different.
Like, they did. It's a choice. So, but it was good though. It was funny. It was I enjoyed it.
I heard good things about it. I haven't seen it, but
yeah, it was funny.
I'm a big Seth Rogen fan, so whatever he sticks his name on, I tend to want to watch.
I think he talked for Bebop or Rocksteady, one of the two. I'd have to watch again to see which one, but yeah. Jackie Chan was Master Splinter, and they actually got kids.
Jackie Chan was.
They actually got, which is weird because Splinter's supposed to be Japanese, but like they had kids Chinese. Actually talk for the turtles, so the voices matched really good. They actually felt like teenagers, so yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, and he did that last time. He did that kids teenage movie. Forget what that one was called.
Which one?
He had like actual like kids in their preteens, Voice. No, it was like live action.
Oh.
But I forget. It was like Boys something Rogen? Boys. Yeah, it was a Seth Rogen produced movie.
It probably wasn't a kids movie then.
No, it was not. Okay. It was a rated R, but he had like kid actors
who were the main. With Superbad kind of was.
No, but way younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you talking about mid-90s? That movie with the...
No, let's see.
That was Jonah Hill.
I don't think I've seen anything from Seth Rogen since this is
Superbad.
Yeah.
Now, I was listening to a comedian. He goes, imagine thinking of the most ninja-like...
That's what it was called. Good Boys.
I've never seen that one. Yeah.
I remember.
I remember it, but I've never seen it.
But yeah, he said
the kids were very young.
Are they like 30 now?
I don't know. They were like legitimate 12-year-olds. So they were like kids, but it was a rated R movie.
You've been watching Ahsoka, right?
Oh yeah,
the girl that played young Ahsoka was young Gamora.
Was it? Mm-hmm. She looked familiar.
And she was also the girl from the movie with Adam Driver with the dinosaurs.
Dude,
BC, whatever.
I haven't. Wait, no, I did see that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was her too. Ultra Universe. Ahsoka's the Kylo Ren's Padawan.
There you go. So, what did you? I loved those scenes where we saw Ahsoka's past in live action.
That was awesome.
And I was telling my wife like, "Oh, these are Vader and they're just showing us all these epic battles from the Clone Wars," and it was like.
And it was
so cool to see.
And it was Hayden doing Matt Lantern's version of Anakin from the Clone Wars.
Which just seems so awesome. And I was wondering what that conversation was like. We know you are Anakin, and we had based Anakin off of you originally.
Well, he watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
He loves it. So,
and he said he was like super happy to be a part of the projects anyway. But like, I wonder if they had to have the conversation was like, we want you to be him though.
Yeah, or
we want his,
or maybe
Anakin.
He might have just came into it,
or
like
maybe
that,
like just a little bit. Like, did they have to have the conversation, or did he bring it assuming that's what they wanted?
Yeah, that first scene when he's like, "Hello, Snips," I'm like, he said Snips.
Yeah,
I think everybody went. He said Snips.
Oh, so good. And you're just sitting there like,
I was waiting for her to say.
You don't remember anything I told you about this before.
It's funny that we have like mid 2000s nostalgia now.
I know, right? Shit, but. So good though. Yeah. Oh, when they went through all of those scenes, and then they had Rex's voice there. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. So awesome.
Commander. Yeah, I love Tim Morrison. He's awesome. I hope they do more Boba Fett series stuff.
I was just so upset with Boba Fett because like I wanted more from what we got was like an isolated Boba Fett. I think
people wanted Boba Fett as a bad guy, which you're not going to get in that timeline.
I don't even need him as a bad guy. I just need him to like not just want to be this mob boss, you know, like be a little bit more epic. But also,
I feel like that show was setting something up.
So, also, we had ended up with like, you know, Mandalorian season 2.5 in there.
Yeah.
And I felt like that took away from a lot. Was like, what happened to my
love those episodes.
Story? No, they were fucking great, but it was like
that's kind of everyone said was the best episodes were with Mandalorian.
Yeah, and those were the episodes that what's his name, Filoni, right? He did those.
Did he do those ones?
Yeah,
or did Favreau?
No, I think Filoni did. I think those were his. I think that's because those are when Ahsoka showed up.
And I think that we saw her partially was time. Because Mando got pushed back. So that probably would have been the opening of the Mando season.
It's going to be pushed back even more now.
Well, yeah, now they are. I don't even know if they're doing another season. It's supposed to lead up to some Avengers type movie with everybody from the shows. So.
Oh wait, no. The next thing they said they were going to do in Mandalorian was the movie. Yeah, that's right. So,
wait, he's going to be in a movie?
They're going to make
instead of another season.
From the shows like pop up in a movie.
Oh, they're doing a crossover.
Up. So I'm thinking Thrawn's not going to get taken out in Ahsoka. I think it's going to lead up to something else.
See, I'm curious what Thrawn's role is and what he's doing with these. What were they calling them? The Night Troopers.
Yeah, he had that Enoch guy with the gold face.
Yes. Yeah. Who are these? Are they just resurrected corpses?
New. Yeah, I don't know.
Like
I was rewatching Rebels, and there were troopers on that Star Destroyer on the Chimera when they got taken by the Purgle, and like I don't know, Ezra kind of dispatched them, but there might have been more there.
Might have been some, and then the way that they like helmets have been fixed and everything.
So yeah, they've been out there for what? How many years? Like 10 years.
I think it's been 10 because I think I was looking at it that they doing the math on the years and everything that Ezra is probably like anywhere from 29 to like 31.
Yeah, because Sabine was supposed to be like 18, 19.
Yeah,
and he's Luke's age because they have the same birthday.
Yes, he's Luke's age. So, but so interesting to see what they do with Ezra. Like, I want to see him in action. I want to see if he's grown.
I want to see a flashback with Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because Freddie Prinze Jr. played Kanan in Rebels. Yeah, he was the voice.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That would be cool, actually. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's so much they could do.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested to see. No, he doesn't. No. I tried to explain it to him, but it just went through.
You did really good. I was listening to that.
Because I was so fucking high.
You had me wanting to go watch Clone Wars.
I was drunk. I was there. I was just spitting off what I felt.
I'm like, wow, he really got Clone Wars. Like, you explained it perfectly. Yeah.
I tried to, at least.
I'm like, just don't go too far back and try to explain to him the High Republic. Cause
I know. I started reading that book, too, when it came out.
I've read them all. I'm waiting for the next phase. It's going to be the end.
I never finished it.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember. I do remember getting like a grasp of it all, and I was trying to explain that to my wife of like how the hyperspace tunnels worked. Like before they developed the technology, they had to take turns jumping in these things.
Yeah. They had to map them out first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like it was dangerous. Like I was trying to tell her, it was like Wild Wild West time. So go into a whole different galaxy is like fucking huge. She was like, okay. Why don't you just say they're just going to a different galaxy? It's like, because you have to understand why they need a big ship to do it. She's like, I don't think I did, though.
No, it's been good. I've been loving all the new content. I mean, we didn't think we were gonna get anything after the prequels. So
yeah, it's definitely great to like see some new stuff, and I love that they just like, it's not that they're trying to keep building up and going towards like what they did with episode 9, 8, and 7, but like we're getting more expanse on the time between these other events and understanding that
I think things are happening at the same time at different spots. The prequels, though, I think it is kind of filling in the gaps and fleshing out these the storylines from the prequels.
Yeah,
it is kind of good because you got the stuff with Grogu and they're trying to clone people and clone Jedi, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, so when are they going to go to his planet, or we'll see more about his species?
I don't think they will. No,
they like keeping it mysterious.
Yeah, from my understanding is that all the people on those planets, they're like very all force sensitive just from birth, and it's like a secret for anybody to keep it secret and safe, and that's the idea. Is like if no one knows where we are, we don't ever have to worry about anything.
I mean, it could be from those other galaxies.
Yeah, that's true. They could be from very far away.
It would be cool though to see a whole.
There's only 2 other of the species.
It would be cool to see a whole jungle version of like a bunch of
Grogus.
Yeah, well, what are they? Because Grogu is his name.
Well, Yoda's his name too. There's no species.
Yeah,
they won't define it.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't even used to say his age.
Well, because they were all saying Baby Yoda, and he's not a Yoda. And he's Grogu. That's what he said his name was.
Yeah, because Yoda just became so synonymous with his species that's all we would say. Like, he's a Yoda. Yeah. And then it was like, there's a female Yoda. What's her name? Yaddle. That does not help the cause.
They did that. What's Chewbacca?
He's a Wookiee.
He's a Wookiee.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, and they've always like been upfront about that for him.
Yeah, that's right. They would call him a Wookiee because I think Han called him a Wookiee, right?
And we got to meet his family in the Christmas special.
Yeah. Which I watch every year, man. I love the Christmas special. I love the holiday special.
I think we watched like the Lego version of it.
Oh yeah, that was
cool.
It's on YouTube. You can find it.
Yeah, just imagine like a little rainforest, and they're all like flipping around and hanging from trees and stuff like that. Like it would be cool. And then a Jedi's walking. It'd be
similar to what we saw Yoda's house in. A
Jedi's walking through and he's like petting them.
Well, I mean, we did see where the Wookiees like lived and their planets and everything.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see
we saw that in the clone.
I want to
see that
like a jungle type of
Right, when Order 66 happened, they started like killing all them.
Yeah.
And then also in the we got a lot of that in the video game too, I think.
Oh yeah, Battlefront had
yeah. And then also in
Jedi Survivor. Or Jedi Fallen Order.
In the Kinect one too.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I'm currently playing that.
Oh, like, you are?
The trials, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't played that in so long, but I remember when I did, I was awesome. When they had me do the thing, I held my own lightsaber.
I didn't have a console at the time when that game came out, so like, I think I still had my 64 or something like that. But like, I always wanted to do the dance thing, and they have a Jason Derulo song riding solo, but it's I'm Han Solo.
I don't think I ever did the dances, but I did all the like
the fighting the Rancor and all that stuff, and
yeah, that was so fun. It was cool. The Kinect was such an interesting piece of technology for its time. Like at the time we had the Wii, and that was our only other motion based thing.
I played Force Unleashed on the Wii.
Oh yeah,
with the lightsabers. I still have them.
Dude, I didn't even think about that.
That was so tiring. You're like fighting stormtroopers and doing like
Force Unleashed and Unleashed 2 is the one with Darth Vader's little apprentice, Star Killer.
Star Killer, yeah.
Star Killer. You think they'll ever bring him into?
People thought Merrick was him.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was the rumor.
Because at the end of Force Unleashed 2.
Galen,
he becomes
Galen Merrick. Yeah.
Like he's good. Like he tries to take down Darth Vader at that point, right?
I don't think I played the second one. I've read the novels for both.
I didn't even know there were novels.
Yeah,
I haven't read any into that.
But that was like years back.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a lot of books for everything.
Yeah.
I have a friend who a coworker was just saying like. He's been watching Ahsoka and he wants to learn more about Thrawn, and I was like, oh yeah, we'll watch the Rebel show. He's like, I can't watch a cartoon, so I think I'm going to pick up the books instead. And I was like, oh yeah. I do remember some books.
They do have the new ones that came with the new Thrawn.
Oh, they're new books.
Yeah, Ascension, and there's 3 of them that came out. The old ones don't count anymore because they're expanded universe ones, which I'm trying to get through those. They're really slow. The old
like
ones
legacy
Legends now, yeah.
Legends.
Yeah, but there's 3 that are out, and apparently it leads up to the confrontation on Lothal with Ezra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it leads up to that.
I can check that out.
Yeah.
Back when I had a much longer commute, I used to do a lot of audiobooks, but now I don't have the time.
This current phase of High Republic that just came out, I did everything audiobook, and it was great because you get the sound effects and everything. And yeah, Ryan from my podcast, he just read all the Thrawn ones because he just barely watched Rebels and barely watched Clone Wars like this past year because we kept bugging him, and so he finally did. Yeah. And he basically did it because Ahsoka was going to come out, and he wanted to know what the characters were. He's not big on Thrawn.
Well,
so I guess we'll see how the season goes. But, yeah.
I'm excited for it. I mean, like, I don't know. I remember him from the Rebels show and how like big of the moments they built those stuff up to.
He's such a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
He's great, and he's so interesting too because he's so like calculated. So it's much
and they
more
got
of
the
an
same.
interesting
The voice
dynamic
actor
for
is
it.
playing him.
Yeah.
It's Mickelson.
And it's so great. I love it when they do
You've
that.
seen Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
Remember the guy that was the lead actor, her dad, the scientist guy that was helping build the Death Star? Ewan Erso.
And they killed him?
And they killed him?
Yeah.
Well, his brother is the guy that's playing Thrawn on...
Oh, his brother?
Is the one that's playing Thrawn on Ahsoka. So they're both in
And
Star
his
Wars.
brother has force powers?
No, I mean in real life. His real life brother.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no,
so he's a
the actor
scientist.
brothers.
The Mickelson brothers.
Oh, so he's a scientist?
And
but-
Hera is married to Ewan McGregor, who's Obi-Wan. So
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Look at that.
yeah, from Scott Pilgrim, I forget her name. Ramona. I call her Ramona
Here,
Flowers.
I can look it up. Let's see.
I know her name. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth. Well, no, that's not her whole name, is it?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah,
Mary Elizabeth
and
Winstead.
she's married to Ewan McGregor. So, and Ewan McGregor's uncle was Wedge Antilles from the original movies. So.
You were the chosen one, Anakin.
Oh, episode 3 is my favorite movie of all time, like of anything.
Episode 3 is most nostalgic for me because that's the only one that I got to see in theaters when those prequels came out, and it was so epic. It was just so
That's
epic.
the movie I would always test the new TV out on because the graphics were so good in the beginning. I remember you had bought a TV at your house once, and then I was like, "Oh, let me put in episode 3 to see how it looks." And it looked.
Yeah, I showed him one of the Star Wars movies. It was I had like one of the early 4K.
Yeah, and it would do that soap opera thing where it looked like they were like standing there on a stage. Yeah, the frames per second.
I put one of the Star Wars movies on, and they were flying through, and they were having a battle.
Yeah, it was the beginning.
in space, and he was like, "This doesn't even look like the same movie." Because he was like, "I can see more things."
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like there was no blurriness. The refresh rate it was super high. Like it was top of line TV.
Yeah.
I think people all think that it's just 4K. That's fine. Just buy it.
No,
it's the TV.
definitely not.
And I'm like,
and
dude.
I tried to explain that to Crystal too because we want to like remodel our master bedroom upstairs. So I told her what I need to do is I want to buy. I said I need to. But what I want to do is I want to get an 75-inch TV.
That's what I have
here.
at home.
Because right now I have a 65 in there, and I think the 75 will fit perfect. And I want to get like a really good one with a high refresh rate, so I can game on it.
Yeah.
And then I want to take this one and mount it upstairs in the bedroom. And so that was the talk, and she was like, okay, well, how much is that going to cost? I was like, well, first, if we go budget, we're probably going to need to spend probably like, I don't know, $2,000, but the one I want is like $3,000. And she was like, no. Like she said, you could buy a TV and your limit is $300. I'm like, well, that's fucked up.
I think I got mine for like $7. It's a Vizio. I don't get the Samsung.
So I wanted to get that LG C2.
Oh yeah, that has all the bells and whistles on it.
That's what I want. And I figured like it's gonna be my entertainment center PC, like or
You don't want
TV.
the
But
OLED.
do you think like half of like watching something at home is the audio? I have to have
most
good
definitely,
audio.
Yeah.
You have to have
And
the
I've
bass
got
all
a
that and the
sound
subwoofer.
system set up. I mean, it's not like perfect because it's in speakers.
That's why when people watch movies
it's
on their
adjustable,
phone,
like tweeters and everything.
You're
so
not getting the same experience.
Oh, no.
That's why people love the theater. Half of like the experience of the theater is like you're getting the rumble. They had the rumble seats.
No, it's a big part. It's a big part.
It's like
I got the
ASMR,
sub like pushed right against the couch, so the couch moves with it.
You gotta have the visual. It's nothing without the visual.
No,
so
sure.
I still think it's more than 50%.
Yeah,
this is all painting. Those people aren't even there. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
That's all painting.
It's all painting. None of those stormtroopers are there. It's all just.
We're looking at. It's like a hangar on the Death Star. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. In the beginning.
Wow, that's so cool.
Those guys are, but when they show the wide shot,
but when everyone,
they maybe had 20 troopers and that's it.
That makes sense, I guess. But that's so cool.
I like how they did the old movies. Like they did so much.
They had no budget.
Well, they had to.
They had to figure out how to do it.
And sometimes the stressor of not having a big budget makes things better. Like they talked about, like I listened to the director of John Wick, and he was like, "We had like 3 days to shoot."
That guy's a stuntman, right?
Yeah, he started as a stuntman, and
he was in the first one.
He was directing. Where he started was he was the stunt double for Neo when he was in the Matrix. Yeah, so he started as a stuntman, so they hung out all the time.
I hated the Matrix when it came out because it compared it to episode 1. But anyways, go. I like it now.
That's a whole nother story. Yeah. But so yeah, he started as the backup stuntman, or not the backup stuntman, but the main stuntman for Keanu, and then he was doing directing. He was shooting like action scenes for directors. So like what happens is a lot of action scenes are filmed not by the main director. They're built they're filmed by another director, and they don't need the stars there. So like if it's a chase scene,
I forget what they call it, but it's a
stunt director.
It's like second unit kind of stuff.
I think he was a second director, stunt director, or something like that for the stunt scenes.
There's like a
trying to remember what part in John Wick 1 he's fighting him. I want to say it's when they have him chained up, and he's like, "They told me I'm back. It's that part. He fights him in that scene.
Oh, the director was in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember he was in it, but anyways, he was. I
gotta finish watching those, baby.
He was doing a lot of. Yeah, we gotta stop talking over each other at some point. I hope everybody can tolerate it, but yeah, we've been like way talking over each other more than normal.
I don't know. There's alcohol. There's the
but I'm
other
on a podcast
stuff.
like 5 other people, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, you're like, dude, you know what you're doing? You're like the run dog that never gets food, and you're like, you like
still less people to talk over here. I could take control of everything.
Yeah, we're on a 2 system and 3 at the most, so we're good. We're usually good at. But yeah, I can see how if you have 7 guys, you got to get in quick. Like it's like hopscotch. You're like you jump in real quick, like before that rope hits you. But
dude, I want to say also though, like I'm very proud of this table.
Oh, I like the new table. I'm
so happy with the way I did. This took a lot of work.
Yeah, they can't see the table unless you want to grab one of your.
You could do mine. Okay. I'm just get it.
Oh,
there you go,
dude! Look at that.
We're zoomed in a lot, but yeah, we put this old dining room table from. So the story on this table, actually, when I was living in the apartments when I first moved here, me and my roommate, we saw someone was throwing this out. And it was like a very more yellow color to it. Yeah. So I took it upstairs to our balcony and chairs and everything we have. And so I sanded all the chairs and I sanded the table and I grabbed some like 3-in-1 stain that was supposed to like be an epoxy for it too, so I didn't have to go seal it or anything. And then I just stained it all outside. Came out shitty as fuck. But we lived with this table for so long. Like if on the edges, you can feel some of where the stain was like dripping down because I used so much of it. But yeah, we had this table for years in our different apartment houses. It has a life, dude. And then it's just been sitting outside in the shed, disassembled. The only time we have used it was for bigger gatherings, like we do like Friendsgivings or something. Yeah. We would bolt up we have 3 of these different tables, bolt them up and put them out so we can have like, you know, you've seen the events you've DJ'd and been a part of here, you know, when we used to have major like gatherings in the backyard. We go hardcore.
We'll do it again, man.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Me and Krista were just talking about that. Like, it's been a long time since we've done something like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like,
it was a big year for you.
We got stressed just with. I know. I feel like it's been so long already, but like, just got married in March. Because I found those
pictures, and it was from February, like, or March. I'm sorry.
For the wedding.
He got married this year.
Got married this year.
Congrats.
Like, there's just been so much going on, and it hasn't even been that long. Like, what? That was only like 6 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. March, April, May, June, July, August, 9 minus September.
3, 6.
Yeah, I like to count on my finger. No, but anyways, let me go back to John Wick. So anyways, he was a second director, just filming action scenes, and then he came up with him and his directing partner, because I think he directs with another dude. I want to say they're partners, and they wrote a script. They're like, what would you like? They just would bounce off ideas, like, because they were action guys. So like, what do you want to see in a movie? They like, want to see car chases. You know, I want to see fighting. You know, so they came up with all of the things, and they wrote down a whole list of all the stuff they like. And then they wrote the movie, and they rewrote again. And then they pitched it to Keanu. He's like, I'm in. Because, you know, he was cool with them and everything. So they had the script, they had Keanu, and they still couldn't get any studio to sign off on it. They're like, They were like, no, you're a stunt. You don't know. You've never directed a movie.
They don't put trust in getting their profit back for it.
Yeah, so then finally, I think they ended up going independent or getting the funds independently. Well, eventually they did sign a deal with a movie company, but after it was already done. So like, they had their budget super low. They had to figure out how to shoot the scenes, like moving, like now everybody does what they do. Like, their style of filming is so copied now, but they had to do it because they didn't have the time to, because usually you would film from one character's point of view, you would film them punching and everything, and then you would reset, and then you would do the other guy and he would do his part.
Right.
But they didn't have time for that. I think they had like 2 days or something to shoot the whole club scene when they were in the club. Remember, with the red lights and everything?
The sun,
yeah, so they had to do it all quick. So it was just one continuous shot. They had to figure out how to do the choreography with one shot in mind. So it made it more of like a dance routine. So they would practice like a dance routine. They would do this, punch, kick, flip.
But whatever they did, though, they created that style of film.
Exactly. And it was created out of not having a big budget.
Yeah.
You know? So it was like they just made do with what they had, and they just kind of threw the hotel thing in there. They didn't even know, like, the Continental. They're like, well, let's just throw. They were just throwing stuff in the movie.
It fucking works too, because I mean, they did it with obviously the John Wick movies, and then they're the same ones that did the Nobody movie.
Same director, yeah. He did Nobody with
Bad Santa.
From,
no, not Bad Santa.
No, the guy from Better Call Saul, right?
Yeah. What the heck? I just had his name in my head.
Let's see, what's his name?
Saul.
Yeah, and I just finished rewatching all that.
Seen that.
Too. It's good.
I never watched Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk. Yes. Yeah. Dang it. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Wasn't he like
he's a comedian
actor? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a comedian too. Like, so it's so funny. Like,
but he did so well.
Oh, he's awesome in the movie.
And then what was that? Was it Silent Night or something? I don't know.
The one with the guy from Stranger Things.
Yes.
I never saw that one either.
What's that guy's
name? The guy that played Hellboy.
Ron Perlman?
No,
the second Hellboy.
Hopper from Stranger Things. Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, what's his name? David Harbour. David Harbour.
Yeah, we'd lost his quiz.
He did Violent Night.
Violent Night, yeah.
That was one of theirs too, right?
Was that really?
Check who directed it.
Let's see.
I don't know if they directed it.
Was it Tommy Warkola?
Click on him. See if John Wick will be the first thing that comes up if he's a director.
Go on his IMDb. I don't think so. It doesn't look like him.
Yeah, I don't think that was his name.
No, maybe it's not. Oh, they're doing a Violent Night too, though. This guguy, he did Kill. No, what did he do? Dead Snow.
Kill
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel. I don't think I've ever seen any of these.
I don't know any of these. But Violent Night was good.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen it?
No,
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made the mistake of seeing it at the drive-in though, and the sun wasn't like completely down, like the moon was really bright. It was just not
during the day still.
You couldn't the windows.
Well, the first
you know
time,
how like you get that like film on the inside of your windshield, you know, from like the heat.
Yeah.
So like it's cloudy. Like, so it just made the viewing experience just shitty as fuck. And this movie needs to be seen with like decent blacks, you know?
Oh,
and
okay.
a good decent screen.
I saw Rogue One on drive-in after watching it in the theater, and it was hard to watch.
Yeah. I wouldn't do anything now that I've learned that. If I'm going to go to the drive-in, it's going to be like a movie that like, doesn't really matter. Yeah. You know, it's one that visually doesn't care about. But if I want to like see a movie that I know I'm visually going to be invested for, you know, I want that part of it, not just like the story or whatever. I gotta be on a better screen or something.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I don't know. I kind of trailed off there.
That's the unfortunate part of the drive-in that the outdoor screen really
and
has.
And the guy behind you has the lights on.
Yeah, or cars driving by. And it doesn't help that the drive-in that's here, I think it's in Glendale.
Yeah, the Glendale 9.
There's no blockage from the road. So people driving by or street lights, there's too much light pollution. It just doesn't work anymore. Like drive-ins worked so much better when there was less light pollution.
It's almost like they need to be in a secluded area or something.
You know, you would think like maybe we should take the drive-in like screen, and if we put it in a building, we get a better. Yeah, we put chairs, maybe like reclining chairs. You know, so there's no
what
like
about if cars. What if there was big trees or something and it kind of surrounded the big?
It just went right over his head. You got it though. We were describing movie theaters. But no.
But that was the thing that I would go watch. Like, I watched Force Awakens, and then I saw it in the drive-in the next week. Like, it's just fun watching Star Wars on the screen.
It's fun outdoors.
No, it definitely is. And I used to love the drive-in as a kid.
Yeah, pick up some McDonald's and sit there and eat it. And,
if it's a movie you've seen already, then it's fine.
Yeah, but to your point, if they did like put some larger trees or bushes or something to block out the light, it would definitely help so much.
I think so.
There is a drive-in theater that I used to go to in close to home. I think it was in Ontario. It's called the Mission Thiccc Drive-In Theater in Southern California. And that one did have like big, giant... There's like these bushes, but they're trees, and they just grow so tall and so fluffy. So it definitely just, you know, cuts a huge amount of that light pollution from the street.
I did see the Spider-Verse, the new one, at the drive-in for the first time.
That sounded like it would have been fun too.
It was fun.
I loved the drive-in.
Did miss a lot of the Spider-Men that were in there, so watching at home was like, okay, let's see what we missed, because it was really...
Oh, and then our other issue was the radio. In Crystal's car, auxiliary doesn't stay on.
Like my camera.
Yeah, so... did your camera go out again? It's been going in and out.
It's back.
Yeah, we're just going to see that.
Actually, I don't think it's been going out that much, but I noticed
that was like the first time it's did it.
I noticed it right now. And then you said that.
Perfect timing.
But oh yeah. The stereo. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Woo. I have them recorded there too.
Come on. Hey.
You see, that's a good spot for it. So it's way closer. You can grab it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could reach it better than I can, but
you need to put like Lil Jon going what when somebody says something.
And we totally could upload files to it. We haven't done that.
We can put any sound we want to. Yeah.
I have to redo our last video we tried putting up on YouTube, and I guess I didn't notice it, but the export failed. It only exported like 50 minutes of the video.
I did notice that it was half.
Yeah, it cut off.
Yeah.
So you didn't even get to see the second half.
I was listening to it.
Oh, did it go through?
It's fine on audio. I put up the audio like a couple of days before I got the video finally edited. So now I gotta
all your beatboxes on.
Try to export it again. I have so much issues trying to get this fucking thing exported. Yeah,
so stupid.
Anyway. But yeah, I'm super happy about this table.
No, dude, I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice table.
Yeah, it seems like it's always been here.
And I told you I wanted something a little wider because the other one was much thinner.
The wood has it knows things. It's been around for
and then even Crystal had said, "Is like, well, if people want a worn table, there ain't nothing more worn than this one."
Yeah, it's perfect, I think. And it's got some life. It's got some history. So
Yeah.
it works. It's changing the game for us.
I got some marks where I fucked up trying to drill the holes.
I love it.
And this one too.
Yeah. It's perfect, dude. We're going to cover I'm going to cover this thing in stickers anyways. I'm just kidding. No. At least have some. We'll get a Star Wars sticker now that we've done a Star Wars episode. But, yeah, we'll add some more shit to it.
Dude, John Wick sticker.
Oh, did I finish what I was saying? Oh, the Continental. They got that show coming out now.
Right?
It's going to be
Continental?
It's a Continental.
It's
just
a
about the
miniseries.
hotel for John Wick.
Oh, it's about the hotel. Yeah. That's right. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was so lost.
And it was just a random, you can listen to him. He's on GRE. You can listen to this whole interview about just all the shit that went down with that, making the movie. You know, it was like a journey. But you can see when a stuntman has like his version of what he likes in a movie, that's what you get, John Wick. Now everybody wants to have a John Wick. Yeah, everybody's doing the same thing. For sure. Chris Hemsworth already done a couple.
Well, I guess we already just saw that with Violent Night. You know,
was that kind of the same?
Oh yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Like every Keanu Reeves movie does that. Like everyone wanted to be Speed, everybody wanted to be The Matrix, and everybody wants to be John Wick.
Keanu Reeves is such an interesting person.
There's so many action movies after that, like during that time.
Pop quiz, hot shot. What do you do?
It had King Koopa in it.
What do you do? Sandy, dude.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, man, the original. Yeah, they
Demolition Man.
They both liked each other, but they didn't know they liked each other. So they both had like little mini crushes, I guess. Apparently,
Wasn't he married?
no.
Oh,
This was
Didn't
early.
they date her?
there's so many Keanu
so
films.
they talked to her, and she's like, I never knew he liked me. I liked him, and then like it was the same thing with Keanu. I guess they both had crushes on each other, but they were so young, they didn't even try.
Was she in that movie with him where they were writing the letters in the mailbox? It was like a romantic movie.
Oh, that's The Notebook. No.
It was like
that's a time traveler's wife.
No, it wasn't time traveler's wife. It was something like that. But like she would send letters.
No, The Lake House.
Lake House. That's what it was.
Lake House.
Was it Sandra Bullock, right?
I have no idea. But
I know they made more than one movie together.
Did they?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
All right. The Lake House, 2006.
My street cred just went.
Wait, you had some? I'm just kidding.
We had to go through like 2 different romantic comedies before we got there. Damn.
Notebook?
The Notebook? I remember that. Was that
was
the
a good
sound?
movie.
White Chicks?
I have that
That's
on
my
DVD.
romantic comedy. I'm just kidding. That's the only romantic comedies I watch. I'm just kidding.
And John Wick's a romantic movie. He loved his wife and his dog.
And his dog.
No, it's more of a I love my dog movie. Yeah, the wife is very, very...
Yeah, but he only loved the dog because of the wife.
Yeah.
No, that just made it more heartwarming to women. They just ate that up. They were like, you can't kill the dog? That was from his dead wife. She's not even around. Like,
Dude had nothing to lose. I gotta finish those movies. I watched like the first
Dude,
one.
I keep
that was
saying
his
that
origin-
too. I've only watched like the first one all the way through.
the original idea was this guy has revenge because someone killed his dog. That was like the original, like that's how they started making the movie.
And then they made Keanu where they killed the cat.
So they're like, he just goes on this long journey of finding revenge. And that's that's basically what the movie's about, but that's what he started.
Dude, what I don't understand is like he had to like literally cement his weapons and stuff. I feel like at this point, wouldn't you just go buy new ones? Like, can't you just like donate these or something? Like, did you need the specific ones?
Serial numbers
Didn't
are
he like
scratched
get
off?
rid of? Like, didn't he lose them at one point anyway?
What do you mean?
Because he was picking up other people's guns, right? Like just tossing guns as he's running out of ammo.
I think he's tossing other people's guns, but
So
he keeps
his
his guns.
he just puts in his pockets.
He puts it back in the holster or whatever.
See, and that was like the first movie I think I saw. I don't
But
know.
it also has his coins too.
Oh yeah.
The
his
guns
coins.
have. Oh, he had his
He
coins.
has a whole
in
chest of
Yeah.
coins.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
their currency. That's how he pays
Buried
for
in
things.
Yeah, because he gave that
The
guy
cleaner.
the coin to watch the girl that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he went to the hotel, he has to pay in
With the
coin. Yeah.
That's like their
That's just such a
hitman currency.
Well, I mean, to me, it's still kind of like the most weird thing is like, well,
it also makes
what am I going to do now that I'm retiring? I'm going to bury all my shit in cement in my basement.
Well, he doesn't want to keep it in a lockbox. He doesn't want to keep it anywhere that anyone can get to it. So I guess only
himself. He didn't want to get to it.
It's hard for him to go back.
Though, that looks like the idea of like, well, it's always accessible if I'm really willing to.
But he has to work for it.
Well, he knew that he might need it. Like, it's, even though he was out of the assassin thing,
he couldn't part with it.
They still can bring him back in. There's always a reason to try to get him to come back. So it was just kind of an inverted reason. Cause
did they say how long he was married and out of the game?
It wasn't that long.
I mean, he had to protect his wife and and stuff. So maybe that's why he kept it around. And he's like, I could always go back.
I think one of them they talk about because
he wanted out, and then someone.
It was just a happenstance. He was just at the gas station. That guy was being a jerk.
I want your car.
Yeah.
Well, he's telling him in Russian, and then he's like, and then he answers him in Russian, and he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you could speak Russian."
Yeah,
I don't know. I've got to watch it. Oh yeah. It was
which
the kid
I've
from
never
Game
seen,
of Thrones.
but I just
You've
know.
never seen Game of Thrones? Oh my god!
Wow, you haven't seen Game of Thrones?
Gotta watch Game of Thrones.
What's wrong with you, man?
How are you alive,
dude? I remember there was like,
watch it.
There used to be
watch
memes
parties
of people like walking down the street in front of apartment buildings in like New York and filming them. All their windows are like flashing at the exact same time because like you had to watch it. It was one of those things where the entire like fucking world was sitting there watching it at the exact same time. It's one of the last times where as a major population, like you walk into the office and you'd be like, so did you watch Game of Thrones last night? Oh, I did because we were going to have this conversation.
Before that, he was lost.
Nope.
Yeah.
I was the only one not watching.
But now with everything streaming, it's like, oh no, we're going to watch it today. We're going to watch it tomorrow.
Aren't they?
Like, no, you had to watch it live.
Isn't the new Star Wars releasing one at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not releasing it all.
Oh no, the only people who still do that is Netflix, I think.
They release it all.
I don't think Prime does it or anybody else.
Everyone
I think
does it one.
everybody releases weekly.
When Loki comes out,
Netflix is like, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here's a whole season of Stranger Things.
I think it's better.
Like we just went through all of One Piece recently, and now I'm kind of regretting it.
When you watch so many episodes back to back, it blends all of them together. You can't really.
Yeah, you don't get to like really grasp everything that happened.
Get that. Are they dead? You don't get to speculate on that for like a week.
I do like the suspense of being on cliffhanger sometimes with shows. Like, you got to watch the next one to find out. Stay tuned. Yeah, there's something that's gone when you just have all the episodes and you watch them all. I don't know.
People watch things at different times. So it's, somebody could be on episode 4, you're still on 2.
Yeah, and it'll always be there. They can release it one at a time and you can watch it whenever you get to it. But I think having it and then releasing it and then having that time, because sometimes you'll go back and watch it again. But like I feel like when it's all released at the same time, you hardly ever go back and watch that same episode again. You're done. You're just like, I'm over it. I saw all 4 episodes. And then Stranger Things is just a weird one too because it's so big of an episode, dude. Like
they're long.
Yeah, and then they got longer last season too. Remember they were like an hour and a half.
They're still doing one more season, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be like
it was cut in half.
What are these kids are gonna be like? What 30? Oh my god!
I think they are jumping forward from what I've read.
Okay.
Yeah.
They need to.
11 has a walker now.
Right.
They all got beards.
Oh my god.
Hello, kids.
I can't even remember what happened.
I don't remember either. I could.
You guys totally erased it.
I was just thinking about this too because we watched this anime that comes on Netflix. It's called Scissor 7. It's really weird and quirky and fun, but it gets every season. What we've noticed is it gets more serious and darker and serious and darker, and it just like is so interesting story. We can't stop watching. We've been watching it since 2019, and they've come out with a new season every so often. They're on season 4. We just watched the first episode, and as we were watching the first episode, we realized like we don't remember any fucking thing that happened before this. And they started the episode in the middle of a fucking giant ass battle. And we're like, you
gotta go back.
Let's go watch a recap.
Why are they fighting?
We had no clue. It's like, what is going on?
I hate when that happens, It's so like bad. You had to make room for all your Star Wars information. You just deleted Stranger Things.
I deleted everything else.
Stranger Things.
My mind can only hold like 3 shows at a time.
You just delete other important stuff.
And I'm still trying to work through Star Trek as well.
What about this guy over here? What? Behind me.
Oh, Doctor Who. No, I'm caught up. I'm waiting for David Tennant's return. He was my favorite Doctor. You watched a lot of Doctor Who?
Yeah, I've watched everything.
Oh, who's your favorite Doctor? So tell me favorite Doctor, companion, and episode.
Eccleston was my intro to it, so I got a soft spot for him. But yeah, we watched it again. We watched this again this past year, and I appreciate Tennant more. Mm-hmm. I like Matt Smith.
Matt Smith, yeah.
But Tennant is like the top, But I think I like Smith's humor and. Donna Noble is my favorite, though.
Oh, Donna Noble's my favorite companion as well. I love just the way that those two actors were able to play off each other, and it was a very platonic relationship.
Episodes we didn't have to worry. If you're going to show somebody, watch Doctor Who, have them watch Tennant and Donna. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
what?
For sure. My first run-in with Doctor Who was with Matt Smith's Doctor. Mm-hmm. But then as I rewatched everything, I fell in love with Tennant. And it was really, what really got me was it's the episode with the family. So there's the one where him and I think it's what's her name? Martha
Jones.
Yeah, Martha Jones. They're flying through and they land on Earth in like I forget, like World War I, pre-Great War, era. And there's this family of like 4 that are chasing them. And so the Doctor decides to take his essence and put it into like the little watch so that he becomes human. Yeah, and so his Time Lord's in there. Yeah. And so now this family has landed and they're like taking over some people and trying to find him. And it's just that like one scene where the oldest son from the family of these bad people, they want to suck in the Time Lord energy and live forever. That's their goal, right? So they want to kill him and take his energy and live forever. And so the Doctor was running from them and then tried to hide from them by putting his energy into a little watch. And at the end, we're not sure if he opened the watch and became the Doctor again or stayed as a human. We found out he became the Doctor, and he defeats the family with all his cleverness, and then he tortures them in a way. So he locks them up in different things. Like the mom gets locked up in a collapsing star, and the little girl gets locked up in the mirror. And it's said that every time you think you see something, like run behind you or look in a mirror, it's always her every single time. So it gets like super creepy. And then the boy, he locked him up as a scarecrow stuck in time to mine the fields. And it was like this thing where this man who we chased and who we were hunting down, he was running, but not because he was scared of us. It was because he was trying to show us mercy. Because at the end of it all, when we lost, he did give us what we wanted. He let us live forever, but live forever as prisoners in time. And it was like the wrath of the Doctor is so great. And this man is trying to be kind, even to the people chasing him. And so it was like that 2-part episode that I always love to show people, that and the Blink with the Weeping Angels, obviously. Yeah. But that David Tennant persona where you can you see the emotion in his eye, where he didn't want to do this, but he knows he has to now. He tried to give you a chance to stop. It's not like torture, but he walks away. Killing people. He doesn't want to kill anybody. Yeah. And so he has to do something
to get them to stop chasing him.
Yeah.
So they're still gonna live forever, even though
he gave them what they wanted, to live forever, but to live forever in a sense of purgatory.
And now they're not gonna harm anybody.
Yeah, and they can't harm anybody.
So wait, you started asking him, what's your favorite episode?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, I still like that. Oh, you my mommy.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
that is so great, and I love that. Like there's later episodes where he like finds a mask, a gas mask, because he's always like, "Oh, you my mommy." It's so funny. Yeah, that's great. And no, that one is so good too, because one of my other favorite like lines is when he's there with Jack Harkness, and he's like, "All right, so this works as a sonic cannon, a sonic disruptor, and a sonic blaster. What do you got?" And he's like, grabs his sonic. And he's like, "Oh, it's Sonic." And he's like, "Okay, well, what is it?" I mean, "It's Sonic. We're all Sonic'd up over here. Okay, blaster, cannon, disruptor, what is it?" He's like, "It's a screwdriver." And then he's like, they fall through the ground, and he's like, "What are you going to do with a sonic screwdriver? What are you going to do?" He's like, "You ever had a late night? You ever needed to put up a lot of cabinets? It's very versatile." It's so funny.
Would not work on this table.
No,
it's wood.
It doesn't work on wood. In case you were wondering. Yeah. He's like so fucking lost. He can't.
I'm just listening.
But yeah, Doctor Who's coming back.
I'm probably like most of the audience, just listening.
What's
they got a big following.
What's the guy's name? Davies.
Russell Davies.
Yes, Russell Davies is coming back to direct the special.
Yeah.
And is he gonna be a showrunner for the next season, or is it just a special?
I think so. Yeah.
That's gonna be so cool. So he's the showrunner who did.
I hate the way they do it now.
9th through 10th Doctor.
They show you who the next Doctor is already beforehand. I guess they've been doing that since like the 80s, but
yeah, they give you that glimpse, and it's usually like towards the end of their run, and at a special or something, they will like have the Doctor regenerate, and then you see the new actor, and they're always wearing the clothes of the old actor, except for this time.
Yeah,
the clothes changed, and it was David Tennant with his face.
They showed the next Doctor already online.
Oh yes, they did. Because they presented the actor and everything, so we know who's going to replace David Tennant.
He's only in there for the specials.
Yeah. Which is fine, but I'm so happy for. I remember when I saw the interview about him doing the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was so like just. I don't think there's any other word for it, but it was like just one of those like, aw moments.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah, because he was like saying, he was like, "Oh, the only thing I'm nervous about is like, I feel like I won't be able to fit into my suit anymore.
Like, I don't want to go."
And it was so good. Anyway, yeah, I could talk Doctor
You know who
forever.
he talks for on Ahsoka, right?
Oh yeah, he's the robot. What's it? Yeah.
There's a book called Brotherhood, which is about Anakin and Obi-Wan's apprenticeship kind of times, and Anakin would have to go out and all they did would take turns taking the Padawans out to get their kyber crystals.
Yes.
And they meet with Hu Yang. So Hu Yang's in that book, and there's a excerpt where they're basically saying like, "Oh, he's been around for so long, this ancient droid. No one knows when he came, but they say he came 1,000 years ago in a blue box."
What? They say that for real?
Yeah.
And you know what's fucking trippy too is this most recent episode where she's like, "Why don't you tell me a story?" And he goes, "In a galaxy, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." And he says the fucking opening line, and then like I had that moment where I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" They just retconned every single Star Wars movie and television show. Anything that starts with "in a galaxy." A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We're just hearing the stories. Mm-hmm. We're just hearing the fucking stories. It's just my mind blew.
It's taken from the book of the Journal of the Wills.
Yeah. Oh my god. So cool. Yeah. And he plays that. He does a lot of other voices too. He does Scrooge McDuck.
Oh, fuck.
So sorry. Scrooge McDuck in the new.
Does he?
In the new DuckTales, which was really good.
So this is interesting because you keep talking about stories. So in a galaxy, in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So think about the time that they're in that's listening to the story.
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah. So who are these people now in the galaxy?
Well, I feel like it's us. Right? Like, did the galaxy, no, it's a galaxy far, far away. So it's a different galaxy from us. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just too high, drunk,
Yeah,
dehydrated.
if you ever want to freak yourself out, who's listening to the story and who's telling it?
Damn, that's just some meta fucking shit, bro.
All right, we'll end it there. What
Is that where we end it? Do we really want to end it there?
Yeah.
You hurt my brain. Okay, well, sure. Why not?
Before my camera goes out again.
Before your camera goes out again, yeah. All right, so this is Digital Cortex.
Let's give it up for Ricky.
Yes.
Oh, whoops.
Whoa. Senator Ricky.
Thanks for having me.
Woo! Yeah. Don't forget to check out the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast.
Yep.
Again, woo! Your host, Thiccc. That's me now.
And go ahead. What's your handle?
I don't have.
Wait, well,
You don't have any socials?
No, yeah, it's
He's got the podcast
PSW
socials.
Senate.
Just that?
Yeah, you can make
We've got him at
we
X,
actually have
at PSW Senate, Instagram at PSW Senate Podcast.
We also have like a long-running Facebook group that we've had forever. So if you just Google Positively Star Wars Senate Facebook, then
yeah, I think that's
everybody from the show is in there, and we all just kick back and talk about Star Wars all day and post memes and share news, and it's a good community. So no negativity. So we try to keep it positive. So
for sure. Oh, is that why it's positively?
Yeah.
The next time.
That's awesome.
No ranting, no nothing on our show. Everyone just loves Star Wars.
I guess
we big up everything, and
it does make sense to put that in the name because people can go down dark roads.
And that's kind of why we did that.
Because everybody will nitpick this and that, and I hated this from I'm an original Star Wars.
Let's
I don't like any of the new episodes, the episode 1 and 2. There's a hardcore group that hates that new versions, and they hate
sometimes you just want to go in and
they hate the Ren,
the
Ren
self-designated
story,
purists.
There's definitely people out there that hate on.
But you know what, like this, and it's same thing with like people have to trick. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't happen as often anymore. But there was always this like, do you like Star Wars or Star Trek better and stuff? And I like both. And I've liked them for different things too. And it's so funny because like we had J.J. Abrams who was asked to do Star Wars because he did such a good job writing and making Star Trek movies. And the only reason he did that and became a director to begin with was because he fucking loved Star Wars. So it's just all a cycle.
And Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans said he made Star Trek too Star Wars.
I mean, either way, I love the stories.
I like those movies, though.
And the stuff they're doing with Star Trek nowadays is great. Like Paramount Plus, they went hardcore with making a bunch of different Star Wars shows. Yeah. They have the Star Wars, Star Trek. They got Picard. They've got the Strange New World, what's that other ship that they? Oh yeah, something with a D, Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, and my favorite that they've made so far of anything is Star Trek Lower Decks. It's a cartoon. And it is so fun. And what's even funner is after watching a bunch of Star Trek shit, like I went and watched all your cameras out.
I tried
well, we gotta keep going then. That was a false ending.
I tried to end it.
Yeah, but the Star Trek Lower Decks, they talk and they have so much Easter eggs and little fun things about pretty much every single Star Trek series that's been around. And I'm working my way through. I've watched Enterprise and I've almost done watching Next Generation. I've watched all of the classic Star Trek and the classic Star Trek 70s cartoons and their classic movies.
Started from the 60s?
Yeah, I started from the 60s. I watched all of that, and then I did Enterprise before doing the new stuff, just so I can have a little bit of like some more backstory because it's like a prequel.
Did you go back and watch any Star Trek?
I do not watch Star Trek.
You don't watch them? No. I think we met.
That's okay. It doesn't really matter.
We met the only Star Trek or Star Wars.
It's Steven from my co-host. He loves Star Trek too, so he watches both.
It's cool because
Star Wars is
like...
I've tried a couple. I like the JJ movies, and I've tried watching the original. I have to go in chronological order. I can't skip around.
You got to go back to the
I watched like maybe 5 episodes of the original, and I just
you could watch Discovery. It's its own thing, and it takes place
What's the one with Scott Bakula? I watched a couple of those.
I don't know the names very well. Let's see. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's Enterprise.
Yeah, I watched a couple of those. Yeah.
And that was
seen
fun.
Stuff here and there, but
I liked that. It didn't get as good reviews, and Enterprise is like it's the first Enterprise, the first spaceship that can go so far out that they have made. So it's the first time like Earth is exploring the bigger known universe.
So it sounds to me like Star Wars is something that happened way, way, way into the future, and the Star Trek is more of like this is where we're going.
Yeah, no, I want to say
Trek
it's
is more
different.
Like sci-fi, and Star Wars is fantasy.
So Star Wars is like a fantasy meets like a Western. With the like in space. Star Wars is Western in space. That's how it's always been to me. Like it's fun, it's action packed. There's like, you know, you don't get caught up on all the political stuff. Yeah. You know, you're
I'm just talking specifically, not what type of movies they are, but I'm talking just about time. Like Star Trek,
Star Trek's like Earthbound.
Yeah, Star Trek starts from like Earth.
That's what I'm saying. This is where we're going.
Yeah, this is where we're going
to our timeline.
And Star Trek is
Star
very
Wars
political.
Is way out there in the timeline.
Yeah,
you know,
and so it's definitely a little bit more nerdy in the sense like that they follow real hardcore with the politics and they take things like so much more seriously, and you're following a fleet that follows orders and is strict in the way that they do things, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a different sense of what you're seeing with it, which makes it interesting because it's like, what if Earth did, you know, evolve to this state where now we're visiting planets and diplomatic situations and stuff like that.
It is going to create...
Star Trek is like, this is a bad guy, I'm a good guy, and we're going to fight.
You mean X, right?
Yeah.
I'm on that Twitter.
You can get that off the ground and
Twitter,
maybe the Enterprise
whatever.
has.
I heard they're going to start charging people for that.
Yeah.
Like they're going to charge users a fee. If that happens, like
no one's going to be on there.
I'm not going to be on there. I'm not going to pay for this social media. I'm already paying in my personal data and advertisement.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to really pay you more? For what?
So coming soon, the Positively Senate Star Trek podcast.
No. We might do an offshoot, but yeah. Maybe one.
I don't know. There's been some good things coming out of Star Trek.
Have you thought about starting a negatively
We were going to do that for April Fool's Day. And it'd probably be like our most popular episode ever because that gets the clicks.
You can call it the Negatively Senate podcast and then just talk about all the stuff you guys hate or contradict yourself on some of the stuff that you like.
If we did an Andor episode, that'd probably be me being the negative one because I didn't care for Andor.
You guys should just do one just to be funny, like maybe for Halloween or something like
April Fool's. Maybe something like that. That'd be fun. But yeah.
April Fool's.
No, we just. I mean, it sucks being a fan because then you go on stuff and someone's always ranting about something or.
For sure. There's always something they hate.
Even if like, oh, I love this, and they're like, well, that sucks. You shouldn't like that. Like, well, dude, like everyone likes different things. So,
and then there's people that just say stuff.
And especially the stuff like we're all brought together from this. Like you know, like can't we just all agree like.
Or just
you
talk
found
about
something from it, and maybe it's not the same thing I found from it, but we could still agree that we're happy with it.
Well, and that's a crazy, like when George Lucas wrote the original movie, like he was a student of Joseph Campbell who wrote, you know, a bunch of myth stuff, and his whole ideal was like there's a monomyth and every culture around the world tells the same story. It's the same version. You get the same hero's journey where you got, you know, the
Oh no, for sure. We studied that in my film class when I was in San Francisco. You know, the hero's journey is every single movie follows the same time storyline. Like you have the character within the first 30 minutes of the movie. The character is given a choice. They're given it like you see it with Matrix, right? Yeah. Red pill or blue pill. You know, and then. From the next act of it, the rest of the movie, this is everything that's in the trailers. This is everything we came for, the bread and butter of it.
It's the story of Jesus, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the hero's journey.
Luke is made, or not Luke, but Anakin is made from just a mother without a father. Like it's the same story of Jesus, right?
I never looked at it like that.
It's immaculate conception. But
Matrix is the same thing.
Different religions have the same kind of origin.
Which Jesus is supposed to be the one. So like we see this reoccurring in movies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same story over and over. Even a little bit of Harry Potter.
No, but like every single movie, if you watch any movie, follow it, like pause it at the 30-minute mark. That's usually when around that minute mark, the main character, the protagonist, has to make a choice. That choice defines the rest of the movie. It's the adventure that we're watching. At the end of it,
it needs to be
when
resolved.
we get to the third act, there's a resolution. They're brought back to their same spot that they were, like their home, that they were in the first act. But now they're changed and different. Yeah. And for Luke, they like physically couldn't go back to that spot. But at the end of that first movie, he was again with a family. The thing that he had in the first act of the movie.
Harry Potter did
the same thing. Everybody does the same thing. You have to. That's how movies are made.
Well, even our podcast, like, we're all from all over the place. Like, I'm here, and then we got people from back east. Steven's English, so he's in the UK. So, like,
how does that work with time zones?
I recorded like 6 in the morning.
Oh, you guys have to do 6 in the morning because of him?
Yeah.
That's
he won't do like midnight or anything?
No, it's like 8 o'clock for him or something. They're 8 hours ahead, so it's like 5, and I think it's like 7 for us. Yeah.
When it's 5.
Daylight saving is kind of wonky, but yeah.
Yeah, so there's nothing else you could really do
if
you want to do it. Like,
if he did it at midnight, though, they would be 8 hours ahead, so wouldn't it be like 8 p.m. for you guys?
I'm up anyways, though.
Right? Is that right? Yeah. Or 8 a.m.?
They're 8 hours ahead. It's
8 hours ahead, right? What's 8 hours ahead
8
from
hours
midnight?
ahead from midnight
would be... 1 o'clock
be...
for me, it's like 9 there.
8, yeah, it would be 8.
8 in the morning?
No.
Night.
Night, right? Or it would be noon? If it was noon over there, wouldn't it be 8 p.m.? So if it's basically
in the morning, it's like afternoon for him, like, or like 5 o'clock somewhere early. Yeah.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
I guess so.
Okay.
All right. So we can end it there then. All right. So again, I'm Randomstylez, Senator Ricky from the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast. Check them out. Anyway, we just hope you had a good time and a good night, and we will see you on the next one.
Later. May the Force be with you.
Later.